Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. You have a good chance, I accept it. Chapter 21. Xuanjin is an important material used to create earth-level spiritual weapons. Its hardness is self-evident. Ordinary mortal fire cannot melt it. Looking at the Xuanjin in his hand, Yilin fell into deep thought. Not to mention the mysterious gold in his hand, even the yellow-grade high-grade long sword in his hand cannot be melted by ordinary flames. If he wants to melt the mysterious gold in his hand into the long sword, he must ask a weapon refiner to take action. Sun Moon City is extremely vast, let's see if we can find the weapon refiner. After thinking about it, Yilin started looking for the weapon refiner in Sun Moon City. Sun Moon City is a large city that can accommodate millions of people, and there are countless practitioners in it. It is impossible to find talented people. After turning halfway, Yilin finally found a place. This is an extremely dilapidated blacksmith shop. Why is it said to be extremely dilapidated? Because even the door of the blacksmith shop in front of me is broken, and there is a big hole in the roof. It looks extremely shabby. If it weren't for the three big characters written on the plaque, Yilin would have thought it was a slum. Walking in along the gate, all you see is a small workshop and an old man lying on the ground drinking. Get out, I'm closed here. If you want to build something, find another place. Looking at Yilin walking in, the old man waved his hand casually and said. Looking at the old man in front of him, a transparent panel appeared in front of Yilin's eyes. Name: Jong Sha. Cultivation level: Foundation building stage. Fate: White. Numerology: Item refiner level 2. Destiny: guarding the dilapidated blacksmith shop all his life and ending in depression. Recent opportunities: none. Weapon refiner: you are born with divine power and are born to be the leader in weapon training. When it comes to weapon training, you are always ahead of ordinary people. Looking at the panel in front of him, Yilin was shocked. He didn't expect that he would actually find the weapon refiner. Weapon refiners or alchemists are divided into levels 1 to 9, with level 1 being the lowest and level 9 being the highest. Senior, I've been looking around this city, but I haven't found anyone with real skills. You are the last one. I wonder if Senior would be willing to do this favor for Junior. I will definitely repay you generously afterwards. After saying that, Yilin took out the long sword and Xuanjin and placed them in front of the old man. Seeing this, the old man's originally cloudy eyes lit up slightly. Xuanjin is a good thing. As long as you find all the materials, you can create an earth-level spiritual weapon. You are really willing to give it up. Seeing Yilin take out Xuanjin and the long sword, Jong Sha already knew what this guy wanted to do. Hearing this, Yilin showed a wry smile. The materials of the earth-level spiritual weapons were all extremely precious. How could he find them? Senior, please. Seeing Yilin bowing to him, Jong Sha nodded secretly. The appearance of his blacksmith shop had already defeated countless people, and he had never met such a junior who understood etiquette. In that case, old man, I will help this young man of yours. When things are done, I need a medium-grade spiritual stone. After Jong Sha finished speaking, Yilin was slightly shocked, but he still nodded silently. Although mid-grade spiritual stones are precious, they are hard to find for a weapon refiner, and even more difficult to ask a weapon refiner to take action. Okay, 1 hour. After Jong Sha finished speaking, he put away the wine bottle in his hand, picked up the long sword and black gold and came to the workshop. In an instant, a blue flame appeared on the table. Jong Sha methodically threw the mysterious gold into it and started refining it. An hour later, Jong Sha was already sweating profusely. Receive. As Jong Sha shouted, the blue flame disappeared, and a long sword with cold light lay in it. Low-grade Zon level, not bad. Looking at the long sword, Jong Sha stroked his beard and smiled. He was a second-level weapon refiner, and refining earth-level materials was still a bit difficult for him. Thank you, Senior. Seeing this, Yilin was overjoyed and immediately took out a medium-grade spiritual stone and handed it to Jong Sha. No, you provide the money and I provide the effort. After Jong Sha put away the spirit stone, he lay down on the ground and began to fall asleep. Yilin picked up the long sword and put it into the space ring before walking out of the blacksmith shop. Now that I have the assistance of a low-grade Zon level long sword, I can still be invincible even if Jong Sha is more powerful. Walking on the road, Yilin murmured. At present, he has many methods and is not afraid of Jong Sha at all. As long as Jong Sha dares to take action, he will definitely be able to capture him. It's time to return to the sect. There is still the opportunity of Niu Bo. On the way, the corners of Yi Lin's mouth raised. Along the way, he hurriedly walked towards Qingyan sect. When he reached the foot of the mountain, it was already dark and the moon hung high above his head. Halfway through, Yi Lin suddenly stopped and looked around. Who? Yi Lin pretended, with the 6th level of spiritual power surging all over his body. He looked around, and he seemed to be ready to take action immediately. The alertness is quite high. 6th level of Qi training. Yes, but just 6 levels of Qi training is not enough. At this time, a young man in a robe walked out of the night. Who are you? Looking at the person in front of him, Yi Lin looked solemn. Name: Wang Yun. Cultivation: 6th level of Qi training. Fate: White. Numerology: exceptionally intelligent. Fate: after 3 months, he went down the mountain to slay the demon, and died after being sucked dry of blood by the demon. Recent opportunity: I went to Shishan Mountain for training half a month later, and accidentally discovered a cave, and found a high-grade Xuanji spiritual fire in the cave. Extraordinary intelligence. You are very smart. You always think before doing things, and you can always use your clever mind to avert danger after encountering a crisis. Looking at the life panel of the person in front of him, Yi Lin smacked his lips. The spiritual fire is the fire nurtured by heaven and earth. Whether it is alchemy or weapon training, spiritual fire is needed for support. Spiritual fire is extremely precious. A Zon level top grade 1 is worth at least 3 top grade spiritual stones. Even so, it is hard to find. Who I am is not important. What is important is that you can hide your cultivation and not be afraid of Jong Sha. The gap between the 6th and 8th levels of Qi training is like a natural moat. Wang Yun finished speaking and was about to leave. The next moment, he was stopped by Yi Lin. You already know my cultivation. You must die. Yi Lin showed murderous intent, and his spiritual power rolled all over his body, showing his murderous intent. Humph, I want to leave, you have to be able to stop me. Seeing this, Wang Yun snorted disdainfully, circulated the spiritual energy in his body, and quickly disappeared into the night with an extremely strange body movement. Watching Wang Yun leave, Yi Lin recovered his cultivation into his body. Exploring. A trick. Yi Lin sneered and walked towards Qingyan sect. Although he and Jong Sha had never fought, he knew from the panel that Jong Sha was a cautious person. Such a cautious person would definitely carry out an investigation. So when he left Qingyan sect in the morning, he had already suppressed his cultivation to the 6th level of Qi training, just to confuse the people who came to investigate. The reason why he let Wang Yun go now was to let him go back and inform him. Once he killed Wang Yun now, Jong Sha would definitely not take action, and it would be extremely troublesome later. His actions also responded to the future events on the panel. 6th level of Qi training. Humph, is this what you rely on? On the surface, it is the 4th level of Qi training, but in fact it is the 6th level of Qi training. It's only been half a year since I started, and in just half a year, you have stepped from a mortal to the 6th level of Qi training. What treasures do you have? But even if there are treasures, they belong to me, Jong Sha. In a hall, Jong Sha sneered, and Wang Yun stood beside him. Begin practicing. Looking at the middle-grade spirit stone in his hand, Yi Lin closed his eyes and began to operate the star power with all his strength. Suddenly, a stream of spiritual energy entered his body, strengthening every part of his body. The time of practicing always passed extremely quickly. In the blink of an eye, a day and a night passed. On the second night, Yi Lin suddenly opened his eyes. It's time to get Niu Bo's chance tonight. If the demon pill of the foundation building period demon beast is refined and absorbed, there is a great chance of breaking through the 8th level of Qi training. By then, my chance of becoming an inner sect disciple will be even greater. Now he knows very little about the inner sect disciples. Even if he challenges them, he has to find the weaker one. He has to find time to understand the general situation of the inner sect. After thinking about it, Yi Lin got up, opened the door and walked down the mountain. He has gradually become accustomed to traveling at night. The frequency of going down the mountain so frequently every day has been noticed by those who are interested. When he came to the foot of the mountain, Lin walked straight towards Lin Zoo Valley. Dragon Falling Valley. According to legend, a real dragon fell here thousands of years ago, and finally the real dragon fell there. At first, many cultivators went to Dragon Falling Valley to look for the remains of the real dragon, but in the end they found nothing. You know, those who can be called real dragons are all great masters of the Mahayana period. If you can get a dragon bone, it will be enough for this life. Dragon Falling Valley is not far from Qingyan sect. After walking for about an hour, Lin finally arrived here. In a huge canyon, there was a trace of cold air. Even if Lin was a 7th level Qi training cultivator, he couldn't help shivering at this time. Hiss, I am a 7th level Qi training cultivator. Even if I don't wear clothes at a few degrees below zero, I won't feel the slightest cold. This place is weird. Lin muttered to himself, and then he sped up and began to search for the dead foundation building period monster beast. He just wanted to take the monster pill and retreat quickly. This place is not simple. After searching for most of the day, there was not even a hair of a foundation building monster here, let alone a monster beast. Instead, the temperature around was getting colder and colder. Looking forward, the grass and trees on the road were already frosted. You know, the weather now is summer according to the previous life. This place is too weird. Finally, on an ice surface, there was a huge wild boar corpse. How big was it? It was a little bigger than the elephant in the previous life. I finally found it, but such a huge wild boar, must it have mutated? Looking at the huge wild boar in front of him, Lin's face was weird. However, he still took out the long sword and chopped it towards the wild boar's head. The long sword that was upgraded to the lower grade of the Zan level easily cut the wild boar's head in half. There was a white demon pill lying in it. Lin put away the demon pill and suddenly looked at the wild boar. Suddenly, his eyes widened. The wild boar in the foundation building realm in front of him was actually frozen to death alive. This is a bit outrageous. In the foundation building stage, the whole body is full of spiritual power. Even if it jumps into the magma of thousands of degrees, it can support for a few minutes. The wild boar in front of him was actually frozen to death. There must be a big secret here, or a shocking treasure. Now my strength is not enough. When I break through to a higher level, I will definitely come to see it again. Looking at the mysterious canyon in the distance, Lin hurriedly ran towards Qingyan sect. The monster beasts in the foundation building stage were frozen to death. If he stayed there, wouldn't he be waiting to die? It took an hour to go there and half an hour to come back. Sure enough, when people encounter life and death crises, they can burst out huge potential. After arriving at the sect, Lin first put away the foundation building demon pill in his hand. Tomorrow is the day when Jong Sha will take action on the panel. It will take a full half-month to refine all the foundation building demon pills. First kill Jong Sha, then seize Wang Yun's opportunity in half a month, and finally I will close the door. Once I break through the 8th level of Qi training, I can challenge the inner disciples. After a brief plan for the future, Lin began to adjust his physical condition and adjust his whole body condition to the peak. Zhang Xiao is at the 8th level of Qi training. Although he has talismans as a trump card, he can't be careless. You know, a lion fights a rabbit with all its strength. At sunset the next day, it's time. Suddenly, Lin opened his eyes full of murderous intent. A cause and effect, it's time to end. After preparing everything, Lin walked out of his residence and walked down the mountain on purpose. He wanted to give Zhang Xiao a chance. When he came to the foot of the mountain, the moon was already high, and it was a dark and windy night for killing. Coming to an uninhabited place, Lin slowly squatted down, as if searching for something. When he just left the sect, Lin had already found Zhang Xiao. Zhang Xiao's tracking skills are far inferior to Wang Yun's. At this moment, in the dark, a tiger roar suddenly sounded. Lin suddenly turned his head, and bursts of blood-red mist appeared on his right arm. 7 killing fists, kill. Boom, the two fists hit each other, and a loud noise sounded. Tap, tap, tap. After a punch, Lin took a step back. Looking at the numb fist, Lin's heart sank. Qi training level 8 and Qi training level 7 are indeed not at the same level. Originally, he wanted to see the difference, but with this punch, the difference was fully revealed. In this punch, he used all his strength, but Jong Sha only took a half step back. With one punch, the winner was decided. This punch is only half a point stronger than mine. If it is a head-on battle, even if I lose now, I can retreat unscathed. Yi Lin said in his heart. Chi training level 7, you are really hiding it. Zhang Xiao's face darkened. With just one punch, he had figured out Yi Lin's cultivation level. He was at the 7th level of Qi training, and he was considered the best among the 7th level of Qi training. Otherwise, under this punch, if he was an ordinary 7th level Qi practitioner, he would be killed by his own punch. What treasures do you have on you? But it doesn't matter anymore. If I kill you, it will all be mine. Tiger roaring fist. Zhang Xiao roared angrily, and a deafening roar of tigers came from behind him. A shadow of a tiger appeared on his right arm and punched Yi Lin. Seeing this, Yi Lin immediately took out the talisman and poured all his spiritual energy into it. Suddenly, light appeared on the talisman, and a fierce light appeared and rushed towards Zhang Xiao. What? Seeing this, Zhang Xiao was horrified, and immediately increased his spiritual power output and punched him. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the blood vessels on Zhang Xiao's entire arm burst, and blood dripped all over his body. Swordsmanship. The next moment, before Zhang Xiao could take a breath, a sword light flashed through his body and came out directly. Zhang Xiao covered his chest in disbelief and looked at the long sword floating in the air behind him. Tianjian sect's sword controlling skills. Zhang Xiao's eyes widened and he half knelt on the ground. Now, he had no power to fight back. Spare me. Looking at Yi Lin approaching step by step, Zhang Xiao said weakly. He is already an 8th level master of Qi training, and he has just stepped into the inner sect and become an inner sect disciple, ushering in the most glorious moment of his life. He doesn't want to die. You are the biggest threat to me alive. After Yi Lin finished speaking, he sealed his throat with a sword, and Zhang Xiao's head hit the ground weakly. After everything was completed, Yi Lin squatted in front of Zhang Xiao and groped around on his body. Sure enough, he found 10 low-grade spiritual stones. There are only 10 low-grade spiritual stones. I guess all the resources have been used to break through the 8th level of Qi training, right? Yi Lin thought to himself, otherwise he would not believe that Zhang Xiao, who had been the leader of the outer sect for 8 years, only had 10 low-grade spiritual stones in his body. The cause and effect is over here. Zhang Liang died. The only one who knows about this is Wang Yun. Let's see what my fate is first. Name: Yi Lin. Cultivation: 7th level of Qi training. Fate: black bad luck. Numerology: bad luck, insight and understanding. Destiny: Zhang Xiao died. Wang Yun, the only insider, knew that he was no match for you, so he swallowed the matter in his stomach and never mentioned it again, for fear of being killed by you. 3 months later, during the treasure hunt in the secret realm, so I looked at other people's opportunities and discovered the location of the treasures of the Xuanji high-grade elixir, so I went to search in the secret realm. After I found it, I happened to be discovered by the inner disciple Lin Zio, who then forced you to hand over the treasures. You refused to obey, and fought, but was eventually defeated and was beheaded by Lin Zio. Recent opportunities: none. Additional bad luck. Bad luck, such as falling when walking, being cheated on getting married. Intelligence and enlightenment. The understanding is transcendent, and it is extremely fast to comprehend various exercises. For the same exercise, it takes others 3 months, but you only need a few days. Since you are so understanding, I will spare your life. Anyway, after 3 months, you still can't escape death. Yi Lin muttered to himself that Wang Yun died 3 months later when the demon drained his blood of his predecessor. When the time comes, there will be no need for him to take action at all. Duobao. Lin Ziyu. Looking at the panel, Yi Lin murmured to himself that duobao is a medicinal material similar to Ganoderma lucidum. It is the main medicine for refining the foundation building pill and is priceless. It seems that we should pay more attention to this Lin Ziyu. Since I can fight with him, it means that he must be at the 9th level of Qi training, not the foundation building stage. Yi Lin thought in his mind that if Lin Ziyu was in the foundation building stage, he would not even have a chance to fight back. It seems that in these 3 months, I must break through to the 8th level of Qi training, and I also need to plunder a few more opportunities. It would be even better if I could have a trump card like Fu Lu. After arriving all the way to his residence, Lin began to retreat and hit the 8th level of Qi training with all his strength. After swallowing the demon pill, with the experience from the last time, it is obviously much easier to suppress the demon pill this time. Half a month later, Lin had refined all the demon pills. The 7th level of Qi training is not far from the 8th level of Qi training. Once I get the chance from Wang Yun, I will retreat for 2 months and break through the 8th level of Qi training in one fell swoop. When the time comes, challenge the inner disciples again. The time is just right, just in time to catch up with the opening of the inner sect's secret realm. Lin estimated that this time, there must be people in the outer sect who had the same idea as him. Qingyan sect had no record of an outer sect disciple challenging an inner sect disciple in 10 years. It's because the benefits are not big enough, and this time, the secret realm of the inner sect is opened. Such benefits are enough to make people crazy. The group of people who have been in retreat in the outer sect will definitely start to challenge the inner sect disciples one after another. Jong Sha is just the beginning. It's time to seize Wang Yun's opportunity. Putting away the middle-grade spiritual stone in his hand, Lin quickly went out and walked towards the depths of the mountain. Before leaving, Lin made a special trip to the scripture collection pavilion to check out the specific steps for refining the spiritual fire. The Qingyan sect is located on the outskirts of the 100,000 miles mountain, and its purpose is to suppress the monsters within 100,000 miles from coming out to invade the human race's territory. Within the 100,000-mile mountain, monsters and beasts are everywhere, and all kinds of treasures emerge endlessly, so this is also a place where countless casual cultivators frequently move. The casual cultivators who came here were all brave and resourceful, and the brave and reckless ones all died. Shishan is located in the middle of the 100,000-mile mountain range, and this place is undoubtedly dangerous. It is rumored that a demon king is here. The demon king is a demon beast in the golden core stage. Once it is dispatched, it will destroy the world and destroy the world. Be careful. Once discovered by the demon king, you will definitely die. Lin jumped among the trees and moved forward at a high speed without attracting the attention of any monsters along the way. The monsters around were all in the Qi training stage, and they couldn't catch Lin's traces at all. Lin, who was advancing at great speed, suddenly stopped. He saw a vertical crack appearing at the bottom of the mountain in front of him. When he got close to the crack, a hot air rushed towards his face. It must be the spiritual fire inside. Lin's eyes were fiery. He stepped forward and squeezed into the crack with difficulty, slowly walking towards the inside. Once he fuses the spiritual fire, even Jong Sha from before will not be his opponent. Walking into the crack, there is a deep cave in front of you. The further you go inside, the higher the temperature becomes. Lin, who is halfway there, is obviously thirsty. After gritting his teeth and walking to the deepest point, the scene in front of him suddenly became clear, and he saw a green flame floating in a huge empty space, which looked extremely beautiful. But under this beautiful appearance, there is a high temperature of tens of thousands of degrees. Of course, this is only the core temperature of the spiritual fire. The temperature on the outside of the spiritual fire is extremely low, otherwise the whole thing would have disappeared long ago. Phew, such a strong temperature. Lin is holding a medium-grade spirit stone in his hand, and a green barrier appears on the surface of his body. This is the manifestation of the externalization of spiritual energy. Only with the supply of spirit stones can he stand here safely. To refine the spirit fire, I need to swallow it in one gulp. Are you sure this thing won't turn me into gas instantly? Looking at the spiritual fire in the distance, Lin already had some doubts about life. On the books in the Sutra Pavilion, it was clearly written that after swallowing, he would use his skills to suppress the spiritual fire for his own use. No matter what, if you don't take it when you have the chance, you're crazy. The next moment, Lin grabbed the spiritual fire and put it directly into his mouth. He immediately sat on the ground and absorbed the spiritual energy in his hand with all his strength to start running the technique. The next moment, Lin's face changed. It hurt too much. His internal organs seemed to be melted. A piercing pain rushed directly into his mind. The spiritual power that was originally intended to suppress the spiritual fire was directly absorbed by the spiritual fire, and it was completely useless. If you look from a distance, Yi Lin's abdomen is extremely red, as if it will explode in the next moment. No, I can't hold on. The huge pain made Yi Lin's consciousness gradually disappear. The next moment, Yi Lin fell to the ground unconscious. 3 days later, Yi Lin woke up slowly. Good, such a strong power. Yi Lin clenched his palms and found that his strength had doubled. He felt an indescribable sense of comfort all over his body. Not only did his strength increase, but a ball of green flame suddenly appeared in his dantian and floated quietly. As this, spiritual fire. The spiritual fire has merged with me. That means, I can now borrow the power of the spiritual fire. Yi Lin's face was overjoyed, and then he stood up and operated the 7-killing fist. Suddenly, a green flame appeared on his right arm and rotated along his arm. He punched the wall on the side, and in an instant, a big hole suddenly appeared in the wall that was originally extremely solid. The whole mountain was shaking slightly. In the big hole that was blasted open, green flames were burning the stone wall, and the temperature was so high that the rock was burned as firewood. Yi Lin stretched out his hand, and the originally extremely hot flames were like a naughty child when they touched Yi Lin's fingers, floating along Yi Lin's fingers, and Yi Lin could not sense any temperature at all, but instead had an indescribable feeling. The next moment, the green flame seemed to have had enough fun, entered Yi Lin's skin, and disappeared. With the spiritual fire accompanying me, I am not afraid even if Lin Zio is at the 9th level of Qi training. This time, Yi Lin was completely arrogant. The spiritual fire greatly increased his combat power. Now, he dared to say that he was invincible at the 7th level of Qi training. He could kill people at the 8th level of Qi training, but he was not afraid of people at the 9th level of Qi training. It's time to go back to retreat. This time, I will retreat to the death. After saying that, Yi Lin disappeared in a flash. After arriving at his residence, he locked the doors and windows and began to retreat. Qingyan sect attaches great importance to the secrecy of the major disciples. Once a disciple's door is locked, the other disciples are not allowed to break the door forcibly. If they dare to break the door, they will be severely punished, even the inner disciples are no exception. Of course, this does not include menial disciples. It is normal for outer disciples to retreat and practice, but you, a menial disciple, can't retreat and practice. Yi Lin retreated for 2 months this time, and countless things happened during the 2 months. 5 outer disciples at the 8th level of Qi training came out of retreat to challenge the inner disciples, and all of them succeeded in the end. All 5 of them were promoted to inner disciples. That day, Yi Lin, who was sitting on the bed, opened his eyes and looked forward. After 2 months of retreat, he had absorbed all the middle-grade spirit stones. At this time, he had already stepped into the 8th level of Qi training. 2 months have passed. Now I have become the 8th level of Qi training, and the 7-killing fist has also been cultivated to the 5th level. With the help of the spirit fire, I think that Lin Zio will not be able to succeed. Yi Lin patted the dust off his body and muttered to himself. Name: Yi Lin. Cultivation: Qi training level 8. Fate: black, many disasters. Numerology: bad luck, comprehension. Destiny: Jong Sha died. Wang Yun, the only person who knew about it, knew that he was no match for you, so he kept it to himself and never mentioned it again, fearing that you would kill him. 3 months later, when he was searching for treasures in the secret realm, he watched other people's opportunities and found the location of the Zon level top-grade spiritual medicine Duobao, so he went to search in the secret realm. After finding it, he happened to be discovered by the inner disciple Lin Zio, who then forced you to hand over Duobao. You refused to obey and fought with him. In the end, you seriously injured Lin Zio. At the critical moment, Lin Zio called his friends to help you, and you were defeated and fled with serious injuries. Recent opportunities: none. Bad luck, such as falling down when walking and being cheated on when getting married. Comprehension: superb understanding, extremely fast in understanding various exercises. For the same exercise, others need 3 months, but you only need a few days. Just as Yi Lin was looking at the panel with full confidence, his face suddenly froze, but he immediately came back to his senses. It was interesting to call for help when you can't beat him. Now the first priority is to become an inner disciple, but the panel shows that Lin Zio is no longer my opponent. In this case, I might as well challenge Lin Zio directly. After thinking about it, Lin stood up, opened the door and walked out. His understanding of the inner disciples was only one-sided. There was no way. The inner disciples were elusive and could not be met at all. Jong Sha challenged the inner disciples, but he prepared for 8 years and thoroughly understood the inner sect, but he didn't have the time. After walking out of the door, the errant disciples walking around looked at him with surprise. Who is this? Isn't this the outer disciple Lin? He disappeared for 2 months, and I thought he was dead. Shut up, do you think he is deaf and can't hear at such a close distance? Hearing the errant disciples around talking, Lin chuckled and then walked towards the outer gate. Now, no matter in terms of identity, status, or strength, the errant disciples are no longer in his eyes, so there is no need to bother with ants. When he came to the outer gate mission pavilion, Lin saw a familiar figure, Huang Shang. What are you doing here? Are you here to accept the mission? Looking at Lin in front of him, Huang Shang's face was full of surprise. Since the last time they parted, he has never seen Lin again, and he thought that this person was dead. I want to challenge the inner gate Lin Zio and become an inner gate disciple. Lin ignored Huang Shang's ridicule and said instead. Hearing this, Huang Shang was shocked. Challenge the inner gate disciple Lin Zio. Is he deaf? Are you sure? Looking at Lin, who was looking very determined, Huang Shang couldn't help but waver. In the past 2 months, the originally peaceful outer gate suddenly had 5 8th level Qi training people. This shocked him a lot, and looking at Lin in front of him, he was a little undecided for a while. Sure, okay, since you want to die, I can't stop you. I'll report it now, you just wait here. After saying that, Huang Shang took a deep look at Lin, and then went to the inner gate to report. No matter whether Lin was real or not, he just needed to report it. The follow-up had nothing to do with him. As a smart man, he knew what he should and shouldn't do. As soon as Huang Shang left, a transparent panel appeared in front of Lin. Name: Huang Shang. Cultivation: 6th level of Qi training. Fate: by something. Numerology: extraordinary intelligence. Destiny: challenged the inner disciples 5 years later, but failed and was brutally killed by the inner disciples. Recent opportunities: he suddenly felt that there were hidden talents in the outer sect, and vowed to work hard. If he couldn't enter the inner sect secret realm this time, he would try again in 10 years. So after preparing everything 3 days later, he went to the mountains alone to gain experience. He found a sword talisman in the purple spring. When he activated it with all his strength, it could unleash a blow in the initial stage of foundation building. From then on, he used it as his trump card. Extraordinary intelligence. Your wisdom is different from that of ordinary people since childhood. You can always calmly deal with the crisis that is about to happen to you, and find a way to deal with it and turn danger into safety. Sword talisman. This is a good thing. Looking at Huang Shang's panel, Lin's eyes lit up. Being able to burst out a strike in the early stage of foundation building is of great help to him now. Moreover, it is also of great help to the inner door secret realm in 5 days. That's right. The inner door secret realm will be officially opened in 5 days, which is why Lin challenged to become an inner door disciple as soon as he came out of retreat. You have a good opportunity, but now it's mine. After just 1 hour, Huang Shang walked into the mission pavilion again. I have informed you, you can go to the outer door square and wait now. I believe he will come within half an hour. Huang Shang said to Lin. Lin thanked him and walked towards the outer door square. Whenever an outer door disciple challenges an inner door disciple, the inner door disciple shall not refuse, nor shall he use some excuses to avoid the battle, unless the challenged person is in a critical period. Otherwise, Qingyan sect will directly dismiss the inner sect disciple. You dare to challenge the inner sect disciples, I believe you are not a fool, let me see what means you have. Looking at Lin's back, Huang Shang followed him. He had done some investigation on Lin. He was not simple, very simple. From Zhong Liang, Zhao Hu, Nangsing at the beginning, to Jong Sha at the end, anyone who offended this person eventually disappeared mysteriously. This made him a little afraid of this person. When he came to the outer gate square, it was surrounded by countless outer sect disciples who came to watch the battle. After 2 months of impact, these outer sect disciples have been numb. In just 2 months, they have watched 5 great battles. Another one comes today. What happened these days? It is said that the challenger this time is Yi Lin. It's really a big deal. Who is Yi Lin? You don't even know Yi Lin. He once climbed from a menial disciple to an outer sect disciple step by step. He is simply a role model for our generation. The outer disciples around were talking about it, and for a moment, the whole venue was noisy. Look, Yi Lin is here, I recognize him, it's him. At this time, someone shouted loudly, and the originally crowded crowd made way. It took Yi Lin only half a year to climb from a Chor's disciple to an outer disciple. Both the outer disciples and the former Chor's disciples admired him very much. When a person is strong to a certain extent, the people left behind can only look up to him, not envy him. Following the path made by the outer disciples, Yi Lin came to the ring. At this time, the ring was empty, and Lin Zio obviously had not arrived yet. When he came to the ring, Yi Lin looked around and saw all the mountains. Last time, he stood here to compete for the Chor's Council. This time, he came to compete for the inner disciples, and he couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Hiss, such a strong aura. This person just stands there and has a king-like demeanor. It is really admirable. If you can't flatter, just flatter hard, right? Yi Lin stood on the stage for half an hour, which made countless outer disciples below complain. I have long been dissatisfied with these inner disciples. They look down on others all day long and are so arrogant. The resources of an inner disciple in a month are the resources of an ordinary outer disciple in 10 years. Yes, but they are strong, what can we do? Due to this unfair system, the outer disciples of Qingyan sect have no good feelings towards the inner disciples. We outer disciples work hard for resources all day long, and we have to complete performance in a month. If we don't do it well, we may die on the way to the task. And you inner disciples, you get rich resources all day long, and there is no point system. You are simply envious of others. After a while, a young man in black clothes with a sharp eyebrow came hurriedly. Sorry, I was delayed by something. Come on, after I finish you off, I still need to prepare to enter the inner sect's secret realm. Lin Zio, who came hurriedly, looked at the outer sect disciples around him with disdain, and then said to Yi Lin. From beginning to end, he did not take Yi Lin seriously at all. The challengers before were all inner sect disciples at the 8th level of Qi training, which allowed these outer sect disciples to sneak into the inner sect. And what about him? He, Lin Zio, is at the 9th level of Qi training. With such strength, even if he is placed in the inner sect, he is in the middle stage. Are you sure, senior brother, this punch of mine may kill you? Yi Lin clenched his fists, and his tone was a little playful. He has a good temper, but after waiting for this person on the ring for half an hour, even a person with a good temper would not be able to help himself. Outer sect people are ants. In response, Lin Zio was full of disdain. The person in front of him was at most the 8th level of Qi training, and what about him? A top master of the 9th level of Qi training. Even if he was allowed 3 moves, he might not be able to do anything to me. So arrogant. When Lin Zio said this, he immediately angered everyone. The outer disciples below stared at him with anger, but their hands did not move at all. They still knew the situation. They were not as strong as others, so they could only do this. This person is so arrogant and conceited. Since that's the case, I will first test his approximate strength and give him the illusion that he is mediocre. Then, when he underestimates the enemy, I will kill him with one blow. Yi Lin thought to himself that this person was at the 9th level of Qi training after all, 1 level higher than himself. If he fought head-on, even if he could beat him, he would have to waste some effort. Brother, since you are so confident, then watch this punch. Then Yi Lin used his spiritual power and punched Lin Zio. This punch went straight to his face. You're pretty vicious. Lin Zio sneered and swung his fist directly. The 2 fists collided, and suddenly, a low explosion sounded throughout the venue. Tap, tap, tap. After this punch, Yi Lin retreated 3 steps, while Lin Zio retreated half a step. After one punch, the gap was revealed. It's still a bit difficult to fight across levels without using spiritual fire. Yi Lin rubbed his numb arm. It was unrealistic to defeat Lin Zio in front of him without using the power of spiritual fire. Humph, I thought he was so powerful. That's it. Lin Zio, who took Yi Lin's punch, was even more disdainful of Yi Lin. He thought the man in front of him was so awesome. Unexpectedly, he was just an ordinary 8th level Qi training. Humph, waste of time, you wasted 5 minutes of my time. In this case, I will cripple your arm, which is also a lesson. At this time, Lin Zio moved. Rising Dragon Fist. An incomplete dragon head appeared on Lin Zio's right arm, and at the same time, there was a faint dragon roar in the air around him. Yi Lin suddenly felt as if he had lost his mind, but in an instant, he came back to his senses. Rising Dragon Fist. This is a low-grade Zon level fist technique, one of the sect's martial arts. With this momentum, I'm afraid that junior brother Yi Lin can't handle it. Seeing Lin Zio's momentum, the outer disciples below were worried. Now, seeing this, Yi Lin didn't feel scared at all, but full of fighting spirit. 7 Killing Fist, kill. Yi Lin roared, and the spiritual energy in his body surged wildly. At the same time, the spiritual fire in his dantian began to move and attached to his right arm. This time, after the last punch, Lin Zio obviously underestimated his opponent. Boom! A loud noise spread throughout the square, and the ring under his feet shook slightly. Crack! With a crisp sound, Lin Zio flew backwards and hit the wooden pillar on the edge of the ring. How is it possible? What did you do? Lin Zio stared at Yi Lin with his eyes, and his right arm was bent in a strange shape. Obviously, it was useless. And he could feel a tingling sensation in his right arm, as if a fire was burning his bones, which made him feel miserable. Junior brother Yi Lin won. Unbelievable, how did he win? To be honest, I didn't understand it either, but he is already an inner disciple. If you keep calling me junior brother, you'll be fine. Sorry, senior brother, this punch might be a bit heavy, are you okay? Looking at Yi Lin's harmless side, Lin Zio was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood on the ring, and then lay heavily on the ring and fainted. Senior brother Huang, I have become an inner disciple, right? At this time, Yi Lin moved his arms and asked Huang Shang under the ring. Huang Shang was shocked when he was asked. At this time, he felt that Yi Lin was like a devil. He was completely scared. Those thoughts before were just guesses, but now they were confirmed. Congratulations, senior brother Yi Lin. I will take you to the inner gate to register. Please follow me. Yes, Yi Lin nodded and was about to leave. Suddenly, he turned his head to look at Lin Zio, and a transparent panel appeared in front of him. Name: Lin Zio. Cultivation: Qi Training Level 9. Fate: Green. Numerology: Good luck, proud of heaven. Destiny: after practicing for a lifetime, he entered the Jindan stage and became the Grand Elder of Qingyan sect. In the end, he did not enter the Yuanying stage and died of exhaustion. Recent opportunities: after being defeated by Yi Lin, his Dao heart was broken. 1 month later, he wanted to end it all in the depths of the 10,000 miles mountain. However, he found the Zon level top grade spiritual fruit, Nirvana fruit, in the abyss. After swallowing it, it was like a phoenix Nirvana. His right arm was repaired and his combat power increased greatly. Good luck. Your luck is better than that of ordinary people. You can always pick up something on the road. Good luck can often help you turn danger into safety when you encounter a crisis. Proud of heaven. Your life is smooth sailing. You believe that you are not inferior to anyone in your life, and you have the meaning of being invincible. Green Destiny: this is the first time I've seen it. Looking at Lin Zio's green destiny, Yi Lin sighed in his heart. In the past, he had only seen some white destiny. Today, he finally saw a green destiny. Inner disciple: really good. Seeing Lin Zio's opportunity, Yi Lin felt happy. He saw a high-grade Nirvana fruit in Xuanji. This was the first time he had seen such a high-grade spiritual fruit. Senior brother Yi, it's time for us to leave. At this time, Huang Shang's words pulled Yi Lin back. Okay, let's go. Yi Lin took a deep look at Lin Zio, and then followed Huang Shang towards the inner door. The Qingyan sect is divided into the inner sect and the outer sect. The outer sect is where the outer sect disciples and handyman disciples move, while the inner sect is where the inner sect disciples, direct disciples, and various elder sect leaders move. The inner sect is the real core of Qingyan Ji. Arriving at a wooden door, after various identity verifications, Yi Lin finally followed Huang Shang to the inner door. What a rich spiritual energy. As soon as he walked into the inner door, Yi Lin was shocked. The spiritual energy here was more than 10 times stronger than that of the outer door. Senior brother Yi, let's go get your resources for this month first, and then apply for a medicinal bath. At this time, Huangshang turned his head and said to Yi Lin. He nodded when he saw Yi Lin, and then led Yi Lin towards the inner office. The office is specially set up to solve some chores. Senior brother, this is the newly promoted inner disciple. Arriving at the office, Huangshang said respectfully to the disciple in front of him. Are you the one who defeated Lin Zio? At this time, one of the disciples raised his head and looked at Yi Lin. Yi Lin just nodded calmly. Yes, we will be brothers from now on. The inner sect is no better than the outer sect. In the inner sect, there is great pressure from competition. Don't neglect your cultivation. Otherwise, one day in the future, you will know how you got here and how you will go back. Do you understand? Thank you, senior brother, for informing me. Yi Lin bowed to the disciple in front of him. At the same time, a transparent panel appears. Name, Zhao Li. Cultivation level. 9th level of Qi training. Fate, White. Numerology. Good understanding, natural power. Destiny. Practice for a lifetime, eventually enter the golden elixir stage, become a giant with a radius of thousands of miles, and eventually die of old age when longevity is approaching. Recent opportunity. 5 days later, I entered the secret realm of the inner sect and found 3 fire spirit stones in the Valley of Flames. After absorbing and refining, my own spiritual roots slowly retreated into fire spiritual roots, greatly increasing my combat power. Good understanding. Your understanding is beyond ordinary people, and you can always understand some obscure skills at an extremely fast speed. Innate divine power. You have shown strength beyond ordinary people since you were a child. If you embark on the path of cultivation, this advantage will be infinitely greater. Well, okay, my name is Zhao Li. If you have any questions in the future, please come to me. These are your resources for this month. The secret realm will be opened in 5 days. Remember to be prepared during these 5 days. Tomorrow we will give you a special medicinal bath. Remember to come. This medicinal bath has many benefits and can lay a solid foundation for you to break through the foundation building period in the future. Okay, let's get down. After saying that, Zhao Li handed Yi Lin 20 low-grade spiritual stones, 5 yellow-grade medium-grade Yun Shendan, and a token, and then waved his hand. Every time there is a new inner sect disciple, he will express his condolences cordially. He is a smart man. What if there is some genius among them? By the time the person becomes successful, he will be able to look familiar to him. After all, saying a few nice words is just a matter of words. Brother, if that's the case, I'll go down first. Huangshang bowed respectfully to Yi Lin and then walked out of the inner door. He was a disciple of the outer sect and was not allowed to stay in the inner sect for too long, so he could only regretfully give up this rich spiritual energy. No wonder everyone wants to enter the inner gate. The aura and resources alone are not comparable to the outer gate. Looking at the resources in his hands, Yi Lin sighed in his heart. What was precious was not the spiritual stone, but the God-enriching pill, which was of great benefit to warming and nourishing the soul. Although it is only a middle-grade yellow-level treasure with little effect on the soul, as long as there is a treasure that can be related to the soul, it is of great value. The soul is similar to the soul. The soul is powerful. It can not only increase your understanding, but also protect you from spiritual attacks, such as illusions. The soul is so powerful that even if the body is destroyed, it will not die. Taking the token, Yi Lin came to his residence, which was specially issued for himself. At this time, Yi Lin raised his head and looked into the distance. He saw 9 peaks rising straight into the sky in the distance. They were the caves of the 9 elders and their direct disciples. Tomorrow is the medicinal bath, and 5 days later is the day when the secret realm will be opened. So I will go get Huangshang's opportunity now. As for Lin Zio, I will put it aside for now. Yi Lin thought in his mind, take Huangshang's chance today, take a medicinal bath tomorrow, and then prepare to enter the secret realm in 3 days. As for the opportunity to travel in the woods, don't rush it. It won't be too late to wait until the secret realm comes out. Of course, he has not forgotten Zhao Li's opportunity, the fire spirit stone, which contains rich fire elements. Once absorbed by him, it can nourish the spiritual fire in the Dantian. Spiritual fire is his biggest trump card now. The stronger the spiritual fire is, the happier he is. When entering the secret realm, the first destination is the Valley of Flames. I must be faster than Zhao Li. That's it. After thinking about everything, Yilin hurriedly left the inner gate and walked towards the outside of the sect. Along the way, both the outer disciples and the handyman disciples all looked at him with awe. As a vigorous young man, this kind of look was very useful to him. Huang Shang's chance was in the purple deep spring in the middle of the 100,000 miles mountain. Monsters were entrenched in the purple deep spring all year round, and ordinary monks would not dare to come here. This opportunity is really hard to come by. Yilin smacked his lips and said. All the way to Zishan Spring, the sound of roars of beasts could be heard from time to time. Fortunately, Yilin was very cautious along the way and finally arrived here without any danger. Purple Deep Spring sounds like a nice name, but in fact it is just a medium-sized deep spring. A lot of monsters. Yilin lay down in the grass and looked ahead. The area directly around the spring is covered with monsters, including 3-meter-long tigers and 5-meter-long crocodiles. They are all carnivorous monsters. However, the strength of these monsters is generally not high, and they all appear to be at the 5th or 6th level of Qi training. I fought hard for the sword talisman. Seeing that there was no chance, Yilin took out the long sword from the space ring and jumped out. Roar! As soon as Yilin appeared, he was locked by the monsters in front of him. They all stared at Yilin and let out waves of beastly roars, which were deafening. Cut! Yilin shouted low, and suddenly, a fiery red sword light flashed, and the most ferocious tiger monster that had roared just now had split into 2 halves. Moreover, green flames flickered on the tiger demon's body. In just a few seconds, the tiger demon's body had turned into dust and dissipated between the sky and the earth. Seeing this, the other monster beasts began to turn around and run away. In just a few minutes, the original group of monster beasts had disappeared. These monster beasts have higher intelligence than ordinary beasts, but they are not much higher. They only know that they will run away when they are in danger, but they will not fight you like ordinary beasts. Seeing the group of monster beasts leaving, Yilin breathed a sigh of relief. Although the monster beasts here were not very powerful, there were many of them. He would definitely not be able to defeat them if they fought head-on. After many monsters present left, Yilin came step by step to the deep purple spring. Looking at the crystal-clear spring water in front of him, Yilin pondered for a while. On the panel, Huang Shang seems to have obtained the sword talisman at the bottom of the spring. In this way, Yilin no longer hesitated, and immediately jumped into the spring water and swam towards the deepest point. When he arrived at the bottom of the spring, Yilin searched everywhere. This is also thanks to the extremely clear water of the spring, which allows you to see the entire bottom of the spring. Found it. At this time, Yilin punched a stone. In an instant, the stone shattered into powder, and a sword talisman was stuck behind it. Yilin picked up the sword talisman and swam upwards. When he came to the ground, his whole body was wrapped in green spiritual fire. The next moment, his clothes were dried. I didn't expect spiritual fire to have such a use. Yilin was full of admiration and took out the sword talisman. The sword talisman is in the shape of a triangle and is made of unknown material. You can vaguely feel the fluctuation of the sword intention from it. I didn't expect it to be sword intention. Yilin was shocked. All kinds of weapons and martial arts in the world can be divided into entry level, advanced level, dacheng level, meaning level, domain level, law level and Dao level. Anyone who can cultivate sword intent is a powerful person. The person who can condense the sword intention into a sword talisman is definitely not a monk in the foundation building stage. He doesn't have that ability yet. Perhaps the sword talisman has been placed here for a long time and the sword intention has faded. Even with the faded sword intent, you can still unleash a strike in the early stages of foundation building. It's really powerful. Yilin put away his sword talisman, looked around, and left quickly. After all, humans and monsters are 2 races, and their hatred is not small. If they stay here for a long time, they may attract the attention of high-level monsters, and then they will be in big trouble. Monsters are everywhere in the mountains that are hundreds of thousands of miles away, and the Qingyan sect, as the overlord sect within a radius of 10,000 miles, only dares to intimidate them and does not dare to enter the mountains to slay the monsters. The fundamental reason is that they cannot defeat them. There were no dangers along the way, and finally we arrived at Qingyan sect. With the strength of the 8th level of Qi training, one has to be careful in the outer area of the 100,000 miles mountain, let alone the middle area. By the way, I almost forgot about this. At this time, Yi Lin suddenly stopped and walked towards the former residence of the handyman. After arriving at his residence, Yi Lin looked around and then breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, no one came in. Then he took out the blood soul tree from under the bed. The most valuable things in his body were the blood soul tree and acquired soil. If these things were missing, he would have no place to cry. Yi Lin put the blood soul tree into his chest and hurriedly walked toward the inner door. His steps were so fast that no one could see clearly what he was holding. After arriving at his residence, Yi Lin placed the blood soul tree under the bed and breathed a sigh of relief. The sect is very good at protecting the privacy of inner disciples. Those who dare to enter other people's residences without their consent will be half disabled if discovered. So this is the reason why Yi Lin dared to take the blood soul tree to the inner gate. No one dared to break into his residence. The day passed by in the blink of an eye. Yi Lin got up and got dressed. After washing, he walked towards the office. Because today is the day for him to take a medicinal bath. When I arrived at the office, I saw Zhao Li closing his eyes to rest. "Senior brother, I'm here to take a medicinal bath today." At this time, Yi Lin spoke. After hearing this, Zhao Li slowly opened his eyes. "It turns out to be junior brother Yi. Everything is ready. Come with me." Zhao Li nodded and led Yi Lin towards the back door. Medicinal bath is a benefit that only inner disciples can enjoy. All kinds of medicinal materials are distributed. The whole process is worth 100 low-grade spiritual stones. It can be said that Qingyan sect truly treats its inner disciples as their own sons. Also, when the inner disciples grow up, they will become the backbone of Qingyan sect and have to be carefully cultivated. As for the outer disciples, they will be marginal figures. It can be said that if the outer disciple died, the Qingyan sect could only investigate it. If an inner disciple dies, even the senior officials of the Qingyan sect will take the matter seriously. This is the obvious gap. "Junior brother Yi, please enter this medicine bucket, and I will prepare the medicine for you." At this time, Zhao Li pointed to a medicine bucket as tall as a person in front of him and said. Yi Lin was silent for a while. "Senior brother, can you not take off your clothes?" After thinking for a long time, Yi Lin finally said this. "How can I do it if I don't take it off? If there are clothes blocking it, the efficacy of the medicine may be reduced. You have to think clearly. Junior brother Yi, we are all men. What are you afraid of? I will not take advantage of you." Hearing this, Zhao Li said very normally that he had long been accustomed to these things, not only Yi Lin, but also the 5 in front of him, all acting coquettishly like girls. "It's not like I don't have what you have, so why are you so coy?" "Good." Yi Lin nodded, took off his clothes, and jumped into the bucket. Suddenly, he felt a stinging pain. "Hey, senior brother, is this boiling water?" Yi Lin asked Zhao Li in surprise. "That's right, only boiling water can better extract the medicinal effects of medicinal materials. What's more, to be able to defeat Lin Zio, your strength must be at least the 9th level of Qi training, right?" Listening to Zhao Li's explanation, Yi Lin nodded. Once he breaks through the 5th level of Qi training, the so-called boiling water will not harm the monks at all. You can even take a bath with boiling water. Okay, close your eyes later, run your skills, and absorb the effects of the medicine with all your strength. Once this medicine is absorbed, it will lay the foundation for you to break through the foundation building period. It can be said that the benefits are endless. If not every inner disciple can only have the opportunity to take a medicinal bath once in his life, I would like to take a few baths. Zhao Li looked at Yi Lin with some envy, and then put the medicinal materials in his hand into the water one by one. These medicinal materials had specific amounts, and the amount used must be registered, leaving no chance for him to steal the medicine. When the effect of the medicine began to enter the body, Yi Lin's face turned red and his whole body tingled extremely, as if there were ants crawling again, and he felt extremely uncomfortable. Moreover, his internal organs seemed to be roasted on a fire, and the severe pain made him grit his teeth. Yi Lin quickly activated the star technique and began to refine it in detail. He could bear the huge pain of refining the demon pill. Although this pain was very painful, it could not mess up his Taoist mind at all. In the blink of an eye, 3 hours passed, and Zhao Li, who was guarding the road, became more and more frightened. Hiss, in the past, none of the disciples could last for an hour. Junior brother Yi can actually last for 3 hours. It's really rare. Zhao Li's face was full of shock. The medicinal power in this medicinal bath was so arrogant that few disciples could last for more than an hour. I couldn't stand the pain at all. But as for Yi Lin, he had experienced the pain of refining the demon pill, so this pain was nothing to him. Boom! At this moment, the medical pain in front of him suddenly exploded, and countless water splashes dispersed in all directions. Zhao Li seemed to have known it for a long time, and directly picked up the table in front of him to block it. In the past, this was how the disciples took a medicinal bath for the first time, and the bucket would explode every time. After absorbing the power of the medicine, my whole body was full of strength, and I urgently wanted to vent it, and the way to vent it was to explode the barrel. This has made him extremely experienced. Okay, it feels so comfortable. After absorbing all the effects of the medicine just now, Yi Lin always felt that his heart was filled with panic. Now that he released the excess power in his whole body felt extremely comfortable. And the whole body is full of power, and the group of spiritual energy in Dantian has become condensed. This is the gathering of Qi into liquid. The spiritual energy in the Dantian of the Qi training stage cultivator is in gas form, while the spiritual energy in the Dantian of the foundation building stage cultivator is in liquid form. The two are very different. Junior brother Yi, how do you feel? At this time, Zhao Li calmly put down the table in his hand and asked with a smile. I feel very strong now. In terms of my body alone, I am more than twice as strong as before. And I am full of strength. Yi Lin clenched his fist and whispered. Yes, this medicinal bath can not only lay the foundation for you to break through the foundation building stage, but also strengthen your body and improve your physical fitness. Looking at Yi Lin, Zhao Li was also envious. Only those who have soaked in it know how good this medicinal bath is. But each of the medicinal materials is too mentally exhausting, so each inner disciple has only one chance to enjoy it. Okay, in that case, then junior brother, go down and prepare. 3 days later, the inner door secret realm will be opened. This is a grand event that happens once every 10 years. Don't miss it. Hearing this, Yi Lin nodded. He came here for this, so how could he miss it? Then senior brother, I'll take my leave first. Yi Lin put on his clothes and clasped his fists towards Zhao Li, then went to his residence. I really have a good eye for pearls. With this perseverance alone, his future achievements will certainly not be low. Looking at Yi Lin's back, Zhao Li nodded with satisfaction. To practice, one must not only have a high enough talent, but also have unremitting perseverance. Without this perseverance, no matter how high the talent is, it will be useless. Try to adjust yourself to the best state. The inner door secret realm is full of too many uncertain factors. Yi Lin sat on the bed and muttered to himself. In his previous life, he was a bookworm. He knew that once he entered the secret realm, even if he was as close as brothers, he could kill each other for a treasure. By the way, I have already dealt with Lin Zio. Now let's see what my fate will be. Name: Yi Lin. Cultivation: Qi training level 8. Fate: Black many disasters. Numerology: Bad luck insight. Fate: Lin Zisheng, the direct disciple of Lin Zio's elder brother, knows that you defeated Lin Zio. Then Lin Zisheng was furious and assassinated you in the inner secret realm 3 days later. You were defeated and eventually died in Lin Zisheng's hands. Recent opportunities: none. Bad luck, such as falling down when walking and being cheated on when getting married. Insight: superb understanding, extremely fast speed in understanding various exercises. For the same exercise, others need 3 months, but you only need a few days. Lin Zisheng, direct disciple. After reading his fate, Yi Lin's face was gloomy. He didn't expect that Lin Zio actually had an elder brother, Lin Zisheng. As far as he knew, there were 5 direct disciples. And these 5 were all in the foundation building stage. Lin Zisheng. It just so happens that Lin Zio has a green fate, so as a direct disciple, your fate should not be low, right? Yi Lin raised his fighting spirit again. Now that he has a sword talisman in his hand, even if he meets Lin Zisheng in the secret realm, he can retreat unscathed. As for outside the secret realm, even if Lin Zisheng is a direct disciple, he dare not attack him. After all, disciples killing each other is a taboo in any sect. In that case, then come on. I, Yi Lin, have the help of the destiny panel, so I am not afraid of anyone. After saying that, Yi Lin began to close his eyes and rest, raising his state to the peak. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed in a flash. On this day, the entire inner gate was boiling. Countless disciples who were in retreat came out one after another, and even on the 9 peaks, there were streams of light appearing. The atmosphere of the entire Qingyan sect reached its peak. Because today is the day when the inner gate secret realm is opened. It's time. At this time, Yi Lin opened his eyes. After packing up, he walked out of the door and walked towards the inner gate hall. Unlike the outer gate, the inner gate has its own inner gate hall. When we arrived at the inner gate hall, there were countless figures around, and these were the inner gate disciples, the true foundation of Qingyan sect. Everyone, today is the day when the inner gate secret realm of my Qingyan sect is open. I believe everyone has been looking forward to it for a long time. Please follow me. At this time, a figure appeared in front of the hall, a white-haired old man. The old man walked in front, and the disciples followed him, all the way to a cave. In front is the secret realm of my Qingyan sect. It will be open soon. Please be ready, disciples. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day for 7 years. 7 years is nothing. I've been waiting for 18 years, 18 years. Looking at the secret realm that was about to open, the disciples around began to get excited. At this time, Yi Lin felt someone staring at him, and then turned around and looked, only to see 5 streams of light flying in the sky, 3 men and 2 women. Above the stream of light, there were 5 direct disciples, floating in the air on flying swords. Seeing this scene, some inner disciples below were full of envy. In the foundation building stage, one can already fly on a sword. I dare to ask the men present, who doesn't want to fly on a sword? It's him. His eyes are full of murderous intent. Yi Lin stared at one of the 3 men and muttered. At this time, a panel appeared in front of Yi Lin. Name: Lin Zisheng. Cultivation: early stage of foundation building. Fate: yellow. Numerology: superb luck. King of Swords. Comprehension of gods. Son of heaven. Reincarnation of a powerful person. Destiny: he experienced many hardships along the way, and finally broke through the Mahayana stage and became one of the great powers of the human race. When he finally became an immortal, he was killed by the heavenly tribulation. Recent opportunity 1. In the secret Phoenix Valley, he found the egg left by the ancient phoenix. He hatched it and obtained the ancient phoenix baby. The phoenix baby helped him avoid many life and death crises along the way. Recent opportunity 2. I went down the mountain to slay demons a month later, and was attacked by demons on Baiduan Mountain. I fell off the cliff, and obtained the Xuanji high-grade spiritual fruit, Shuafeng fruit, under the cliff. After taking it, my cultivation level improved greatly, and I stepped into the foundation building in one fell swoop, midterm. Recent opportunity 3. 1.5 months later, in the Yuanbaojai in the Golden City Antique Market, I bought the only dilapidated vase at a low price. After breaking it, I found that it contained ancient murals. After understanding it, I obtained the ancient magic and became powerful. Hua Sanqing. Transcendental luck. You are very lucky. You can always find opportunities along the way. Even if you encounter a life or death crisis, you can turn it into a disaster. Leader of swordsmanship. A natural master of swordsmanship. You have a better understanding of swordsmanship than ordinary people, and you make rapid progress in swordsmanship. Intelligence and enlightenment. The understanding is transcendent, and it is extremely fast to comprehend various exercises. For the same exercise, it takes others 3 months, but you only need a few days. Son of heaven's favor. You are favored by the fate of heaven. There are no bottlenecks in your cultivation. Breakthroughs are as simple as eating and drinking. Reincarnation of a great power. You are the reincarnation of a powerful power in the fairy world, but your soul was damaged on the way and your memory was sealed. After the nascent soul stage, your memory is unsealed. From then on, you are like a carp leaping over a dragon's gate, and you have a smooth journey. Looking at Lin Zisheng's destiny panel, Yi Lin was stunned and almost blinded. Such a panel reminded him of 4 words, Son of Destiny. This can't help but make him a little stressed. Son of Luck, that's no joke. But I have the destiny panel, so what about the Son of Destiny? It's still the same, but as the Son of Destiny, all your opportunities are mine. After thinking about it, Yi Lin showed a mysterious smile on his face. The Child of Luck does have many opportunities, but these will be advantageous to him in the end. However, the first and third opportunities can be snatched in advance, but the second opportunity is too dangerous, so we should give up temporarily. Looking at Lin Zisheng's panel, Yi Lin secretly thought that the second opportunity was to meet the evil spirit. Even Lin Zisheng couldn't defeat the evil demon, so he went there to deliver food. Lin Zisheng was a child of luck and would not die even if he encountered an evil demon. But look at his own panel again. Yi Lin shook his head and gave up. There would be more opportunities in the future, so there was no need to risk his life for this opportunity. In the sky, Lin Zisheng has been staring at Yi Lin. Is he the one who defeated your brother? The 5 disciples were suspended in the sky. Another person saw something was wrong in Lin Zisheng's eyes, and then followed Lin Zisheng's gaze and found Yi Lin standing there with a frown on his face. Lin Zio was defeated, and they also heard about it. Good. Lin Zisheng's lips moved slightly, and then he looked away after finishing speaking. His younger brother was seriously injured and beaten to death. It was up to him to recover the debt. Okay everyone, the door to the inner secret realm has been opened. Go in quickly. Remember, the secret realm is only open for 3 days, and you must come out within 3 days. Otherwise, the secret realm will be closed and the next time it comes out will be 10 years later. At this time, a purple light curtain suddenly appeared in the cave ahead, and the old man on the side said excitedly. After the old man finished speaking, the disciple in front stepped into the secret realm first and disappeared. Yi Lin withdrew his gaze and walked towards the secret realm. He wanted to seize Zhao Li's opportunity first, and then seize the opportunity of this lucky child. After everyone entered, the 5 direct disciples slowly lowered their swords and walked towards the secret realm. What a rich spiritual energy. After entering the secret realm, he saw a jungle in front of him, with lush trees and grass, and the spiritual energy of the world around him also shocked him. The spiritual energy here is several times higher than the spiritual energy in the inner gate, which is simply staggering. The crowd that had just entered had already dispersed and ran around, quickly disappearing into the jungle. The panel shows that Zhao Li's opportunity is in the Valley of Flames. Judging from the name, it is a place with extremely high temperatures. Since it was his first time to enter the secret realm, Yi Lin was not very familiar with the surrounding terrain. Not only him, but also the disciples who entered the secret realm this time were all stepping into the secret realm for the first time. Each disciple of the Qingyun sect's inner sect can only step into the secret realm once in his life, and there will be no chance for him again, so all the disciples are trying to catch him blind. After careful sensing, Yi Lin walked towards the east. Now he is at the 8th level of Qi training and is extremely sensitive to the environment of heaven and earth. Compared with other directions, the temperature in the east is higher. They were moving very fast along the way, but what puzzled Yi Lin was that after walking such a long distance, there was not a single living thing along the way. This can't help but surprise him. The temperature is getting hotter. After rushing for an hour, Yi Lin could feel that the temperature around him was rising rapidly, and he must be not far from his destination. Half an hour later, Yi Lin stopped and looked at the valley in front of him, with the corners of his mouth raised. I saw a small valley in front of me. The stone walls of the valley were red in color and the temperature was extremely high. This must be the Valley of Flames, right? Where is the fire spirit stone? Yi Lin walked forward step by step. The shoes under his feet began to smoke, and the temperature rose further. Walking into the valley, a small cave similar to a deep well appeared in front of you, with fiery red flames running around it. In the center of the flames, there are 3 shining crystals. Found it. Seeing this, Yi Lin was overjoyed, and then he wrapped himself in a green flame and walked forward. These flames are just ordinary flames, and he possesses spiritual fire. For these flames, it is a dimension-reducing blow. Before coming to the crystal, Yi Lin stretched out his arm, and the entire arm was covered by spiritual fire. After the surrounding flames came into contact with the spiritual fire, they dispersed. This also made it easy for Yilin to get 3 fire spirit stones. On the contrary, the fire spirit stone not only has no temperature, but also feels very comfortable when held in the hand. At this time, Yilin felt that the spiritual fire in his dantian was beginning to move, sending a feeling of desire towards Yilin. Don't worry, sooner or later it will be yours. I will refine it when we get out of the secret realm. Yilin murmured and put the fire spirit stone into the space ring. Spiritual fire is the fire nurtured by heaven and earth. When it reaches a certain level, it can even give birth to spiritual wisdom. After collecting the fire spirit stone, Yilin walked out of the Valley of Flames. Next, it's time to go to Phoenix Valley. After walking out of the Valley of Flames, Yilin looked into the distance and murmured to himself. The main event in Phoenix Valley is the descendants of the phoenix. You must know that the phoenix is one of the 3 mythical beasts in ancient times and has the power to create the world. Even if he is just a descendant, he is still a descendant of a divine beast and should not be underestimated. Once he grows up, it will definitely be a big help to him. But where is the Phoenix Valley? The Flame Valley is judged by its own attributes. What about the Phoenix Valley? Arriving in the jungle, Yilin suddenly ran into trouble. But the next moment, Yilin's expression changed. He suddenly squatted down and hid himself in the grass. Then he looked up at the sky and saw a man in white robe flying towards the distance with a long sword. That's Lin Zisheng. Seeing the man's face, Yilin whispered. Lin Zisheng is heading south. According to the old myths, there is Azure Dragon in the east, Black Tortoise in the north, Vermilion Bird in the south, and White Tiger in the west. Lin Zisheng is heading south now. If that's the case, as long as he keeps going along this place, he will definitely find the Phoenix Valley. After figuring it out, Yilin moved forward towards the south at a speed no less than Lin Zisheng, who was stepping on the long sword. Suddenly, Lin Zisheng, who was flying at a high speed in the sky, stopped and flew towards the ground. He suddenly stopped. Did he see some treasure? He is worthy of being the son of destiny. He is really awesome. Yilin glanced at the direction where Lin Zisheng landed, and then ignored it and continued to run forward. He didn't dare to slow down at all along the way. He had to reach Phoenix Valley before Lin Zisheng. Along the way, Yilin witnessed how terrifying the son of destiny was. Lin Zisheng behind him rose and fell. Every time he landed, he must have seen some spiritual treasure. But because Yilin was in a dense jungle, Lin Zisheng did not find Yilin's trace. Since Lin Zisheng landed half an hour ago, he has not appeared again. I guess he encountered some great opportunity. It just happened that he provided me with some time difference. 3 hours later, Yilin looked at the mountain in front of him and the dark cave entrance in front of him, and he was happy. I guess this must be the Phoenix Valley. Could the phoenix egg be in the cave? Who cares, let's go in and take a look. Yilin held the sword talisman in his hand and stepped into the cave step by step. Once there was danger, he would activate the sword talisman. The world is big, life is the most important. If you die, you will really have nothing. Stepping into the cave, in front of him was a long corridor, and Yilin walked forward along the corridor. The corridor was dark, and mysterious runes were carved on the surrounding stone walls. It was impossible to understand what was on them. Along the way, Yilin didn't know how long he had been walking. At this time, a flash of light appeared in front of him, which made Yilin feel happy, and then he speeded up and walked forward. When he walked out of the cave, his eyes suddenly opened up, and he saw a large space appearing in front of Yilin. Looking upward, he could see inexplicable crystal stones shining brightly on the top stone wall. And in the distance, in the center of the huge space, a half-human high fiery red giant egg lay quietly on the stone table. At the bottom is a 99-story staircase, surrounded by 5 stone pillars, with purple-red flames burning on top of the stone pillars. Yilin walked upwards along the steps, but with every step he took, the pressure on his body doubled. Is it like a test? Yilin walked, thinking in his heart. However, this pressure could be easily resolved for him, but when he reached the 90th step, he was covered in sweat and the steps under his feet were extremely heavy. No, hold on, descendants of the phoenix, you can't give up. Yilin gritted his teeth and took another step forward. Suddenly, the dark space around him suddenly became brighter, and the purple-red flames on the 5 stone pillars suddenly burst out and rushed towards Yi Lin. Not good. Seeing this, Yi Lin's expression changed drastically. Just when he was about to take out his sword talisman to resist, the next moment, the spiritual fire in his dantian burst out of his body, absorbing the incoming purple-red flames. As this, an advanced step. Seeing the spiritual fire above his head getting stronger and stronger due to absorbing the purple-red flames, Yi Lin was overjoyed. The spiritual fire is absorbing these purple-red flames to advance. It is already a high-grade spiritual fire on the Zan level. At this time, it is absorbing these purple-red flames and is vaguely about to step into the earth level. Seeing this, Yi Lin did not dare to delay, and immediately quickened his pace and walked towards the top. Boom! At this moment, there was a loud noise behind Yi Lin, and the 5 stone pillars shattered one after another. The spiritual fire just now was also quietly suspended in the air, and there was a vague aura of destroying the world above it. In the center of the spiritual fire, a phantom of a phoenix was soaring. At this time, the originally round spiritual fire suddenly turned into a fiery red phoenix shadow and plunged into Yi Lin's body. At this time, Yi Lin's whole body turned red instantly, and his whole body was filled with endless strength, which made him take several steps in a row and finally arrived in front of the round table. At this time, Yi Lin found that a phoenix shadow appeared in his dantian, rotating around the condensed spiritual energy in the center of his dantian. From time to time, I go up and take a bite, which is extremely naughty. Earth level low-grade spiritual fire. Phoenix fire. At this time, Yi Lin's face was full of shock, and he saw that the spiritual fire in his body had transformed into the companion flame of the ancient beast Phoenix, Phoenix fire. Although it is only a castrated version, it is also extremely powerful. Even among the low-grade spiritual fires of the earth level, it is still top-notch. You know, the Phoenix fire in its heyday was a fairy fire. It's done. Seeing this, Yi Lin looked overjoyed. The Phoenix fire alone had already made him a lot of money. With the blessing of the Phoenix fire, during the Qi training period, he dared to claim to be invincible. By the way, there are also Phoenix eggs. After a brief moment of surprise, Yi Lin finally focused his attention on the half-human tall flaming red dome in front of him. I saw mysterious lines flowing on the surface of the dome, which was extremely beautiful. Why is there no breath of life inside? At this time, Yi Lin frowned. There was no sign of life in the giant egg. As the descendant of the phoenix already dead. Impossible. The panel shows that Lin Zisheng has indeed hatched the descendant of the phoenix. What is going on? Yi Lin frowned and stood there thinking. He clearly noticed that there was no sign of life in the dome in front of him, as if it was a dead egg. Then Yi Lin walked around the round table, touching left and right. Tap tap tap. At this time, the sound of footsteps came from the cave entrance behind Yi Lin. Yi Lin's expression changed slightly, and before he had time to think about it, he picked up the dome and hid in the ruins at the bottom. Because the stone pillar collapsed, the collapsed place was filled with huge stones. Yi Lin hid in the gap and could not be seen from above. Lin Zisheng. Through the gap, Yi Lin discovered that the person who walked in was Lin Zisheng. Has anyone been here before? Lin Zisheng looked at the ruins in front of him, frowned and said, then looked around. At this time, Lin Zisheng slowly stepped onto the steps and came to the round table easily. The 5 stone pillars were damaged, so there was no test at all. Standing in front of the round table, Lin Zisheng put his hand on the round table. Suddenly, as if the mechanism was opened, a fiery red light curtain escaped into Lin Zisheng's eyebrows. The next moment, Lin Zisheng closed his eyes and sat cross-legged. Lin Zisheng sat cross-legged here for 3 hours, and Yi Lin also waited under the ruins for 3 hours. Now he is no match for Lin Zisheng, not to mention that he still holds the phoenix egg in his hand. It is best not to go out. Choice. The top-grade heavenly technique, the Phoenix Bathing Heaven technique. At this time, Lin Zisheng opened his eyes, shouted loudly, and a fiery red phoenix shadow appeared behind him, which was extremely majestic. Yi Lin. However, Yi Lin, who was hiding under the ruins, was completely speechless when he saw this scene. Is this the son of destiny? So terrifying. He almost blew up the stone table just now without triggering any mechanism, but Lin Zisheng just touched it and got a high-grade heaven-defying technique. Ha ha ha, this trip is worthwhile. I, the Lin Zisheng, will definitely have a place in the future world. Although it is only an incomplete version, it has reached the top level of heaven, which is enough for me to become an immortal. At this time, Lin Zisheng burst into laughter. He was in a very good mood as he had just obtained the magical power. Then he stood up and looked around. After finding that there was nothing valuable anymore, he patted his butt and walked out. A few minutes after Lin Zisheng left, Yi Lin turned over the stone slab above his head and walked out holding the phoenix egg. This time, he really saw the horror of the child of fate. God forced an opportunity, what else could he do? The incomplete version. The Phoenix Bathing Heaven technique is a technique inherited by the Phoenix clan. As long as I hatch the egg in my hand, I will be able to get the complete version when the time comes. The phoenix is a divine beast, and the inherited skills must be very terrifying. It's just an incomplete version, but it has already reached the top level of heaven. So how awesome is the complete version? You must know that even some of the giant sects of the immortal Tao do not have high-grade heaven-level techniques, so they are extremely precious. But holding this thing is too conspicuous. Let's see if we can take back the space ring. Yi Lin muttered, and then activated the space ring. The next moment, the giant egg in his hand disappeared and lay quietly in the space ring. Phew, it'll be nice if I can take it back. Once I get out, I'll slowly figure out how to hatch you. Space rings can only store dead objects, but there is no breath of life in the dome, so it can also be stored. Lin Zisheng was able to hatch you out, which means you are not really dead. Let's study it slowly after we get out. Looking at the giant egg in the space ring, Yi Lin finished speaking and walked out of the cave. Chapter 31. It was already midnight in the secret realm, and it was pitch black and silent. Yi Lin stood on a big tree and pondered. With my current fate, the chance of finding an opportunity by myself is not great. I can't say it's not great, but it's almost none. Yi Lin was very confident about his fate. Not to mention the opportunity, it was a luxury to be able to live well. No, I have to find someone. It would be best if I could meet Lin Zisheng. Before the Phoenix Bathing Heaven technique entered the secret realm, Lin Zisheng did not show that he would obtain this secret realm. That is to say, on the panel, after a long time, only more important opportunities will be displayed. So now, if I can take a look at Lin Zisheng's secret realm, I will definitely get rich. But let me take a look at my panel first. Lin Zisheng will find me in the secret realm, just in time for me to see when it will be. Name: Yi Lin. Cultivation: 8th level of Qi training. Fate: Black, many disasters. Numerology: bad luck, comprehension and divine. Destiny: the fact that you defeated Lin Zio was known by Lin Zisheng, the disciple of Lin Zio's elder brother. Then Lin Zisheng was furious and assassinated you in the inner secret realm 5 minutes later. You were not prepared and were seriously injured by Lin Zisheng. At the critical moment, you used the sword talisman to escape. Recent opportunities: none. Bad luck, such as falling down when walking and being cheated on when getting married. Comprehension: superb comprehension, extremely fast in understanding various techniques. For the same technique, others need 3 months, but you only need a few days. After reading the panel, Yi Lin's muscles tensed up. 5 minutes, that is to say, Lin Zisheng has already found him. At this time, Yi Lin quickly jumped down from the tree and came to the bushes, looking around. I have already found you, come out. Yi Lin held the sword talisman in his hand and said to a dark place in front of him. At this time, the bushes in front made a rustling sound, and Lin Zisheng, dressed in white, walked out of the bushes with a long sword in his hand. I'm curious, how did you find me? Lin Zisheng held a long sword in his hand, and it seemed that he was no longer in a hurry to take action. In the cave, you have already found me, right? Hearing this, Lin Zisheng laughed. Ha ha ha, not bad, such a sharp perception, but today is the day you die. As early as in the cave, he had already found Yi Lin hiding in the ruins. The perception of the foundation building period is very amazing. In a small cave, his perception can completely cover the entire cave. Die. After saying that, Lin Zisheng didn't say any nonsense and attacked with all his strength. In his eyes, Yi Lin was just a passerby and didn't need him to pay attention. Kill him, that's it. Want to kill me? Next life, I'll give you a surprise. Yi Lin raised the corner of his mouth and threw out the sword talisman directly. The next moment, a hot sword light flashed in the space. Yaoshan 9 swords, cut. Lin Zisheng shouted loudly and shattered the sword light in front of him with a sword, but Yi Lin had disappeared. Intention. Its intention. At this time, a trace of blood appeared on Lin Zisheng's right arm. He was injured. He never expected that this sword actually contained intention, and that intention was moving along his arm towards his heart. Yi Lin, right, very good. If I don't kill you, I can't get rid of my hatred today. Lin Zisheng roared, then sat on the ground and began to suppress the sword intent in his body. I shouldn't be able to catch up now, right? Yi Lin, who had been running for 3 hours in a row, stopped by a river. In front of him was a transparent panel. Name: Lin Zisheng Cultivation. Initial stage of foundation building fate. Yellow numerology. Superb luck, king of swordsmanship, comprehension of gods, son of heaven, reincarnation of a powerful person, destiny. After experiencing many hardships along the way, he finally broke through the Mahayana period and became one of the powerful people of the human race. When he finally became an immortal, he was killed by the heavenly tribulation. Recent opportunity 1. Tomorrow, Tianfu will descend, and you will be at the tiger statue in the 3rd road of Tianfu tomorrow. Recent opportunity 2. Tomorrow, under the dragon statue in the 3rd road of Tianfu, you will obtain the lower grade illusion of the earth level, the magic shadow is gone. Recent opportunity 2. 1 month later, he went down the mountain to exorcise demons. He was attacked by evil demons on the Baidwan mountain and fell off the cliff. He obtained the Zan level top grade spiritual fruit, the Shuafeng fruit, under the cliff. After taking it, his cultivation improved greatly and he entered the middle stage of foundation building in one fell swoop. Recent opportunity 3. 1.5 months later, he bought the only old vase in Yuanbaojai in the antique market of Wangjincheng at a low price. After breaking it, he found ancient murals inside. After comprehending it, he obtained ancient immortal arts and became the 3 pure ones in one breath. Super luck. You have very good luck. You can always pick up opportunities on the way. Even if you encounter a life and death crisis, you can turn danger into safety. Kendo champion. You are a natural swordsman. You have an understanding of Kendo that exceeds that of ordinary people. You have made rapid progress in Kendo. Comprehension of God. You have superb comprehension. You are very fast in comprehending various techniques. For the same technique, others need 3 months, but you only need a few days. Son of heaven. You are favored by the destiny of heaven. There is no bottleneck in your cultivation. Breaking through is as easy as eating and drinking. Reincarnation of the great power. You are the reincarnation of a great power in the immortal world, but your soul was damaged during the journey and your memory was sealed. After reaching the nascent soul stage, your memory will be unsealed. From then on, it will be like a carp leaping over the dragon gate, and everything will go smoothly. Will the heavenly palace come tomorrow? Looking at Lin Zisheng's panel, Yi Lin thought in his heart, what is the heavenly mansion? He didn't know, so he could only wait for the so-called heavenly mansion to come tomorrow. Lin Zisheng's 2 opportunities are in the so-called heavenly mansion. If there is a big commotion, it will definitely attract other disciples to come. At that time, even if I meet Lin Zisheng, he dare not do anything to me. Yi Lin thought secretly in his heart. The inner disciples have a transcendent status in Qingyan sect. Even if the direct disciples suppress the inner disciples, they dare not kill the inner disciples at will. If the direct disciples dare to kill the inner disciples for a trivial matter, once they are discovered by Qingyan sect, they will be severely punished. Yi Lin believes that Lin Zisheng, as a son of destiny, will never do such a stupid thing. Take advantage of the rich spiritual energy in the secret realm and practice first. After thinking, Yi Lin sat on the ground and began to practice, and the spiritual energy around him came to his body. In the blink of an eye, a night passed. In a bush, Lin Zisheng opened his tired eyes. It took me a whole night to barely suppress the sword intent. Yi Lin, I want you dead. Lin Zisheng's face was full of murderous intent. The sword intent had reached the realm of artistic conception, and it was not something that his current cultivation could completely expel. He could only suppress it temporarily. He spent the whole night trying his best to suppress the sword intent, so as to prevent it from invading his heart. Otherwise, even the gods would be unable to save him. Now the sword intent has been temporarily suppressed. When I get out, please ask Master to help me expel it, but Yi Lin, you must die. At this time, Lin Zisheng's eyes were full of murderous intent. Since he started practicing, Yi Lin was the first person to hurt him with his qi training period. After practicing for a whole night, I am getting closer and closer to the 9th level of qi training. When I get out of the secret realm this time, I will start to prepare to break through the 9th level of qi training. At this time, Yi Lin opened his eyes, exhaled a breath of turbid air and murmured. Boom. At this time, there was a loud noise in the sky, and Yi Lin looked up. I saw colorful rays of light all over the originally calm sky, and a majestic heavenly palace could be vaguely seen. The Tiangong was slowly descending. At this time, countless sword lights shot out from the surrounding jungle and headed towards the Tiangong. Not only are the direct disciples in the foundation establishment stage, there are also several inner disciples who are in the foundation establishment stage. This is Tianfu, so impressive. Seeing this heavenly palace, Yi Lin admired it in his heart, and then without hesitation, he headed towards the landing place of the heavenly palace. When Yi Lin arrived, Tiangong had just landed on the ground, and an extremely violent whirlpool of spiritual energy dispersed in all directions. The pores on Yi Lin's body were wide open, greedily absorbing the spiritual energy. The entire Tianfu resembles a fortress, and is all silver white. At the gate, 2 silver white stone lions guard the door, looking extremely majestic. What on earth is this? So majestic, could this be the cave of the ancient golden core monks? At this time, one disciple said with shock on his face. After hearing this, the others looked at that disciple one after another. Tell me in detail. At this time, a woman in the sky who was extremely beautiful wearing a white dress and exuding a cool aura asked softly. Senior Sister Li. The disciple bowed to the woman and then spoke. I'm not very clear. This secret realm is the place where a golden core monk died in ancient times. It is said that this golden core monk had a high status in ancient times, and later the founder of our sect established the sect here. The door is Qingyan sect. At that time, the patriarch wanted to find out. Later, he discovered that only those with cultivation levels below the golden core stage can enter this secret realm. After a long period of exploration, we did not find any caves of Jindan monks. We only found that this secret realm opens every 10 years, and it is rich in spiritual energy. It has given birth to many treasures, so it has become a place for disciples to hunt for treasures. Unexpectedly, the golden core stage monk cave actually appeared now. After this disciple finished speaking, the other disciples, including his disciples, looked hot. Golden elixir level monks, you must know that the supreme elder of Qingyan sect is at the golden elixir level. With this, Qingyan sect is already the overlord of thousands of miles. The combat prowess of the golden core stage monks in the ancient times is even higher than that of the current golden core stage monks. What's more, in the ancient times, there was no shortage of resources at all, and every monk was extremely rich. As for the golden core stage, the wealth of the golden core stage was quite important in ancient times. How rich should it be? Just when everyone was expecting, a stream of light flashed in the distance, and Lin Zisheng was seen coming with a long sword. When he saw Yi Linji again, a trace of killing intent flashed in the corner of his eyes. However, there were so many people here that it was difficult for him to attack. Even he would not dare to kill an inner disciple in public. Boom! At this time, there was another loud noise, and the silver-white door of Tianfu burst open. When the disciples saw this, no one dared to take a step forward. They are all smart people. There is no guarantee that there will be any danger in the Jindan monk cave. No one dares to leave first. They only have one life. The opportunity is right in front of you, and it's hard to achieve success by just making promises. At this time, an inner disciple in the sky snorted coldly and rushed into the gate. After seeing that there was no danger, the other disciples followed. Yi Lin mingled among the crowd and walked into the Tianfu. In front of him, there were 5 single bridges half a meter wide. The bridges connected 5 silver-white portals at the other end. Under the bridge, there were abyss. This heavenly palace is close to the ground, and how did this abyss come about? At this time, a disciple stepped forward and looked into the abyss, his face full of shock. I don't know, maybe it's a method used by the Golden Core monks in ancient times. The ancient times are full of so many mysteries that even I can't judge. At this time, the previous senior sister Li explained. Everyone, there are 5 ways now. As for which way to go, it all depends on your own choice. At this time, the disciple who was the first to attack finished speaking, aimed at the first road, rushed through quickly, entered the silver-white portal and disappeared. Yi Lin looked at the third road. The panel showed that Lin Zisheng found the Xuanji high-grade foundation building pill through the third road. In response, Yi Lin stepped onto the third path without hesitation, ran over quickly and disappeared. And all the disciples around started looking for paths and embarked on the treasure hunt. After Lin Zisheng saw Yi Lin going there, he followed countless disciples and found a road at random. Nowadays, there are many people and it is difficult to kill. After leaving the secret realm, there will be many opportunities. He does not believe that Yi Lin can hide in Qingyan sect for the rest of his life. After entering the gate, there was a huge space in front of him, surrounded by countless statues of gods, including dragons, tigers, bears, unicorns, and birds. Yi Lin didn't know what kind of animals they were. Dragon statue, tiger statue. Yi Lin thought silently in his mind, then walked straight towards the tiger statue. When he came to the statue, he squatted down, put his right hand on the base of the statue and groped for a while. Sure enough, Yi Lin found a wooden box. In an instant, the wooden box was collected by Yi Lin with a space ring. When the subsequent disciples saw Yi Lin squatting there and touching the base of the statue with his hands, they couldn't help but look at Yi Lin. But the next moment, Yi Lin took out his free hand, and they looked back. Yi Lin then came under the dragon statue, and sure enough, he touched an ancient book and put it into the space ring. Although the Qingyan sect is said to be the overlord with a radius of thousands of miles, it is only a small sect. The inner disciples do not have such a thing as a space ring. Only the elders of the inner sect have a few. Each space ring is made by a powerful person at the god transformation stage or higher. The disciples of the small sect are not qualified to own it. Brother Dao, I just saw you groping under this statue, but what did you find? At this time, the disciple who hadn't found anything after looking for a long time looked at Yi Lin and then asked. I thought this statue was very strange. I thought it must be some kind of treasure, so I wanted to try it out to see if it could be moved out. Even if it's not a treasure, it would be worth a lot if sold. Hearing this, Yi Lin said with a smile, and the other inner disciples nodded. This statement made sense. But when I tried it just now, I found that this statue weighs at least 100,000 kilograms. It seems that only senior brothers in the foundation building stage can try to lift it. After saying that, Yi Lin shook his head pretending to be regretful. Brother Dao, don't be discouraged. The cave of the ancient golden core monks must be mysterious and mysterious. There must be some mechanism here. Let's investigate it carefully. After saying that, the other disciples looked at the statues and circled around them, trying to find something. That's right, how could there be only such a small amount of things in the cave of the ancient golden elixir monks? I guess Lin Zisheng's opportunities have been refreshed again, right? It's a pity that Lin Zisheng didn't come here. Yi Lin walked, thinking in his heart. No, what is it? At this time, a shout from an inner disciple came from the front, and the others turned to look. Yi Lin also turned to look curiously. In front of the disciples' eyes, countless densely packed silver-white bugs appeared. Each bug was as big as a palm and exuded the aura of the 5th level of Qi training. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Yi Lin wouldn't have believed that such a small insect could actually reach the 5th level of Qi training. This insect actually has innate spiritual energy. At this time, a disciple looked at the insect he had killed and said with shock on his face. Just now, he casually killed the bugs in front of him. Unexpectedly, a pure spiritual power entered his body, and his cultivation level also improved a bit. Spiritual energy is divided into innate and acquired spiritual energy. Innate spiritual energy is the purest. The combat power of monks who cultivate with innate spiritual energy can completely crush those who cultivate with acquired spiritual energy. After the collapse of the world in the ancient world, the spiritual energy now is acquired. Reiki. In ancient times, spiritual stones were all unified and had no grades. But now, there are. Because the higher the grade of spiritual stone, the more spiritual energy there is, and the closer it is to the innate spiritual energy. The spiritual energy in the best spiritual stones is infinitely close to the innate spiritual energy, and at the same time, it is also extremely precious. What? Innate aura. The rest of the people were shocked, and then began to kill the strange insects in front of them. The next moment, all the disciples exclaimed, "It's really innate spiritual energy. Hiss, it's so pure. Although I haven't even seen the top-grade spiritual stone, I'm sure it's purer than the spiritual energy in the top-grade spiritual stone." At this time, all the disciples looked at the densely packed strange insects, as if they were looking at some kind of feast, and then everyone took action. At this time, Lin also joined the team fighting against the monster insects. For a time, the originally densely packed monster insects were defeated one by one under everyone's full output. The disciples who took action became more and more courageous as they fought, and their aura also skyrocketed. Hiss, it's really pure. If I keep killing like this, I will definitely break through the 9th level of Qi training. At this time, Lin was overjoyed and immediately increased his attack. Under everyone's collective attack, the strange insects were gradually defeated and began to disperse slowly. After a few minutes, the strange insects disappeared. Looking at the ball of innate spiritual energy stored in his dantian, Lin felt happy. He would refine this ball of innate spiritual energy after leaving the secret realm. By then, it would be a certainty to reach the 9th level of Qi training. Due to the tight time, he had no time to refine it, so he could only store it in his dantian first, and then refine it slowly when he got out. The rest of the disciples all thought the same way, and everyone wanted to capture more innate spiritual energy. Is it over? One of the disciples looked at the disappearing monster insects and felt a little unfinished. He hadn't killed enough yet. Then everyone began to explore one after another. A whole hour passed and everyone found nothing. It seems that the opportunity has ended here. Let's go. It's none of our business. At this time, one of the disciples said, and the others nodded. Lin looked at the disciple who was speaking, his eyes slightly focused. He always felt that this guy was not simple. Then, a transparent panel appeared in front of you. Name: Wang Sheng. Cultivation level: 9th level of Qi training. Fortune: green. Numerology: lucky star shines brightly. Fate: half a month later, he went down the mountain to slay the demon, and died after being sucked dry of blood by the demon. Recent opportunity: after walking out of Tianfu, he was interested in the 2 stone lion hearts at the gate of Tianfu, so he went up to study them. In the mouths of the stone lions, he discovered the top-grade mystical god bead. Lucky star: you are very lucky. People who are with you are often influenced by you and become very lucky. After reading the panel, Lin looked around, turned around and left. Let's go, don't be greedy. If you can get the innate spiritual energy, you have already received a lot. At this time, Wang Sheng finished speaking and walked towards the door. The other disciples nodded and turned around to leave. At this time, Lin walked along the single bridge and came to the stone lions. Looking at the 2 stone lions in front of him, Lin stepped forward and groped for a while. Finally, a blue pillar was found on a stone lion on the left, and it was immediately included in the space ring. Junior brother, the statue cannot be moved, and this stone lion looks like it is not something we can move. At this time, Wang Sheng walked towards Lin and said with a smile. If it weren't for the fact that this thing was too heavy, he would also like to move a few of them back and display them in his own residence. How majestic would they be? Hey, I just thought this stone lion was much smaller than that stone statue. I didn't expect it to be so heavy. Lin said immediately. Let's go, the door to the secret realm is about to open. Looking at the disciples coming out one after another around him, Wang Sheng finished speaking and walked towards the distance. Arriving at the gate of the secret realm, almost all the inner disciples had already arrived and were waiting for the gate to open to go out and retreat. Everyone had gained a lot from this trip, but Lin stood among the crowd and looked around, but did not find Lin Zisheng. Taking advantage of this period, Lin sat cross-legged on the ground and began to practice. The spiritual energy in it was too strong. Instead of waiting, it was better to seize the time to practice. Seeing this, the other disciples followed suit. 3 hours later, a sword light flashed in the distance, and Lin Zisheng's face was radiant. Obviously he had gained a lot. At this time, Yi Lin opened his eyes and looked at Lin Zisheng. Name: Lin Zisheng. Cultivation: early stage of foundation building. Fate: yellow. Numerology: transcendental luck, leader of the swordsmanship, intelligence to the gods, son of heavenly favorite, reincarnation of the great power. Destiny: he experienced many hardships along the way, and finally broke through the Mahayana stage and became one of the great powers of the human race. Later, he was attacked by the great power of the demon race and escaped with serious injuries. Recent opportunity 1. I went down the mountain to slay demons a month later, and was attacked by demons on Beiduan Mountain. I fell off the cliff, and obtained the Xuanji high-grade spiritual fruit, Shuafeng fruit, under the cliff. After taking it, my cultivation level improved greatly, and I stepped into the foundation building in one fell swoop, mid-term. Recent opportunity 2. 1.5 months later, I bought the only dilapidated vase in the Yuanbaojai in the Golden City Antique Market at a low price. After breaking it, I found that it contained ancient murals. After understanding it, I obtained the ancient magic and became powerful. Hua Sanqing. Transcendental luck. You are very lucky. You can always find opportunities along the way. Even if you encounter a life or death crisis, you can turn it into a disaster. Leader of swordsmanship. A natural master of swordsmanship. You have a better understanding of swordsmanship than ordinary people, and you make rapid progress in swordsmanship. Intelligence and enlightenment. The understanding is transcendent, and it is extremely fast to comprehend various exercises. For the same exercise, it takes others 3 months, but you only need a few days. Son of heaven. You are favored by the destiny of heaven. There is no bottleneck in your cultivation. Breaking through is as easy as eating and drinking. Reincarnation of the great power. You are the reincarnation of the great power in the immortal world, but your soul was damaged on the way and your memory was sealed. After reaching the nascent soul stage, your memory was unsealed. From then on, it was like a carp leaping over the dragon gate, and everything went smoothly. It seems that if I rob him of his opportunity, his future fate will also change. Looking at Lin Zisheng's fate, Yi Lin murmured to himself. There is no opportunity within a month, which means that he will practice in seclusion this month. It's just right, I will break through the 9th level of Qi training when I get out. Then go down the mountain and get this ancient fairy art, and transform it into 3 pure ones in one breath. Could it be the fairy art of that great power? Yi Lin murmured in his mouth. If it was really the fairy art of that great power, he would make a lot of money, but after thinking about it, this was unrealistic. You know, that great power is the ancestor of Taoism, one of the 3 pure ones, the Taoist ancestor Laozi, a figure standing at the top. At this moment, the door to the secret realm in front of them suddenly opened, and the disciples walked out of the secret realm one after another. Yi Lin also followed behind the disciples. Watching Yi Lin's back disappear, Lin Zisheng's eyes flickered, as if thinking about something. After walking out of the secret realm, the old man who had sent them in earlier had already been waiting at the door. Yi Lin also tried to look at the old man's panel, but unfortunately, the difference in cultivation was too big, and the panel could not display it at all. Okay, disciples with cultivation above the foundation building stage will follow me to the hall to discuss matters, and the rest of the disciples can go down to practice. At this time, the old man said to the disciples. Seeing that the old man's face was a little unnatural, Yi Lin had already understood in his heart that it must be about the evil demon. However, this matter has little to do with him now. If the sky falls, there are tall people to support it. He only needs to practice and improve his cultivation as much as possible. After arriving at his residence, Yi Lin began to count his harvest. Of course, the most important thing was the phoenix egg. Yi Lin took out the phoenix egg and put it next to him, then took out the foundation establishment pill and the demonic shadow, as well as the last 2 items, the hidden god bead and the fire spirit stone. No matter what thing here, it can cause chaos and bloodshed if it is released to the outside world. The foundation establishment pill can be used when you break through the foundation establishment stage. Looking at the foundation establishment pill in front of him, Yi Lin murmured to himself that this foundation establishment pill was refined in ancient times. As of now, the recipe for the foundation establishment pill has been lost. In other words, only I have the foundation establishment pill. But what is the use of this hidden god pearl? Looking at the blue bead in his hand, Lin fell into deep thought, and then slowly poured spiritual power into it. Suddenly, a strange light covered his whole body. Hiss, this hidden god bead can actually make me invisible. Can it also cover any aura on my body? After research and understanding, Lin was shocked. The effect of this hidden god bead is too incredible, right? And after becoming invisible, as long as the golden elixir period does not come, no one can detect him. It just so happens that with this treasure, I won't panic at all even if I face Lin Zisheng in the future. Lin Jun put the hidden god pearl back into the space ring. This thing is a good thing. But how on earth do you hatch it? At this time, Lin set his sights on the phoenix egg. He now had no clue. This feeling of having nothing but being unable to move made him very uncomfortable. Phoenix egg, I now have phoenix fire, try it. After thinking about it, Lin started to activate the phoenix fire in his dantian. Suddenly, a blazing flame came out of his body and covered the entire phoenix egg. At the same time, the mysterious lines on the surface of the phoenix egg also began to glow, and strange powers dispersed in all directions. Stop it. At this time, Lin's expression changed. The phoenix egg in front of him was trying its best to absorb the phoenix fire, and the spiritual power in his body had been drained. Phoenix fire can only be supported by using spiritual energy. Now the phoenix egg absorbs the phoenix fire, and the phoenix fire absorbs his spiritual energy, falling into a cycle. If this continues and his spiritual power is gone, it's time to squeeze his blood. Let's fight. At this time, Lin gritted his teeth and took out the only remaining middle-grade spiritual stone and began to absorb it. As for the innate spiritual energy in his dantian, it was used by him to break through the 9th level of Qi training and could not be moved. The spiritual power contained in a medium-grade spiritual stone is huge. Even so, it has been drained out in a short period of time. Fortunately for Lin, the phoenix egg in front of him had stopped absorbing, which made him sigh in relief. Looking at the spirit stone powder in his hand, Lin wanted to cry but had no tears, just like that. There is a very weak breath of life, this is useful. At this time, Lin noticed a faint breath of life coming from the originally dead phoenix egg. Although it was extremely weak, there was indeed a breath of life. This couldn't help but make him feel happy. As long as a phoenix can be hatched, what's the point of wasting a spiritual stone? By the way, there is also the Nirvana fruit from Lin Zoo. The Nirvana fruit can repair injuries and may be useful for phoenix eggs. Forget it, let's start practicing. After thinking about everything, Lin began to close his eyes and absorb the innate spiritual energy in his dantian with all his strength. In the blink of an eye, 8 days passed by. What a powerful force, innate aura, and it truly lives up to its reputation. On this day, Lin opened his eyes, looked at his strong arms, and couldn't help but admire them. After being strengthened by his innate spiritual energy, he is even more powerful than the average 9th level Qi practitioner. Coupled with various methods, there are few opponents among the 9 levels of Qi training. By the way, the fire spirit stone. At this time, Lin suddenly thought of something and looked at the bedside. The 3 fire stones that were originally lying on the bed had disappeared. Where is my fire spirit stone? At this time, Lin turned his attention to the phoenix egg aside, and saw that the life breath in the phoenix egg had become stronger. Thinking about his fire spirit stone disappearing, Lin felt sad and happy at the same time. Little guy, you have eaten up so many of my resources. When the time comes, you must repay me well. At this time, Lin touched the phoenix egg and said with emotion. After speaking, the phoenix egg shook slightly, as if in response to him. Now the phoenix egg has the breath of life and can no longer be placed in the space ring. Lin looked at the phoenix egg in front of him and pondered for a while. Only dead objects can be stored in the space ring, not living objects. Hide it. At this time, in order to ensure safety, Lin dug a large pit from his residence, placed the phoenix egg in it, and then covered it with soil. The only thing I can do now is to feel aggrieved first. After everything last night, Lin clapped his hands. Is junior brother Yi here? Is junior brother Yi here? At this time, there was a sound outside the door. What's wrong? Lin frowned and stepped forward to open the door, only to see a disciple with an unfamiliar face standing in front of him. Junior brother Yi, the leader has summoned all inner disciples to go to the main hall to discuss matters. I see. Hearing this, Yi Lin nodded solemnly. Is the matter already so serious? He knew without thinking that it must be for the sake of the devil. If that's the case, then I'm leaving, and I have to inform the other brothers. Brother, walk slowly, I'll be there soon. Yi Lin nodded, and then a transparent panel appeared in front of his eyes. Name: Lu Ming. Cultivation level: 9th level of Qi training. Fate: green. Numerology: none. Ordinary. Destiny: go down the mountain to exorcise demons tomorrow, and be sucked dry of blood by demons and die. Recent opportunities: none. Looking at the panel of Lu Ming who left, Yi Lin was shocked. When he was in the outer sect before, he found that many disciples died from evil demons. Now, has it affected the inner sect disciples? But what exactly is this evil demon? We have to go to the main hall. After thinking about it, Yi Lin did not dare to delay, and then packed up and went to the main hall. At this time, there were 20 inner sect disciples standing in the sect hall, and 3 direct disciples at the top. In the center of the top of the hall, there was an old man standing, and there were also 3 old men around him. It seems that the disciples who did not retreat this time have expired, so let's start. After one of the old men finished speaking, the old man standing in the center nodded and then spoke. Everyone, now, evil demons have appeared in the area under the jurisdiction of my Qingyan sect. And the evil demons are the descendants of the ancient great demons. They are brutal by nature and feed on humans. Now, many cities have been invaded by evil demons, and countless people have died. We cultivators must not leave it alone. Now, I declare that you will go down the mountain to eliminate demons from now on. After the old man above said this, the other disciples all ignited a fighting spirit. We cultivators should eliminate demons and defend the way. Okay, the notice has been issued. Of course, you will not be allowed to do it in vain. Killing an evil demon below the 5th level of Qi training will reward you with 10 low-grade spirit stones, and killing one above the 5th level of Qi training will reward you with 50 low-grade spirit stones. Exorcise demons and defend the way. Exorcise demons and defend the way. After the sect master said this, the disciples shouted one after another. They were very short of resources, very, very short of them. This time, the sect was just what they wanted. Yi Lin, who was standing at the back, was nervous. He had just looked at the panels of the group of people one by one, and none of them came back alive. This was very outrageous. Well, with you guys, our sect will flourish. Seeing the disciples like this, the sect master nodded with satisfaction. Looking at this group of poor people who knew nothing, Yi Lin mourned for them in his heart, but this also made him feel a strong sense of crisis. None of the 20 people on this trip survived. What does it mean? The evil demon's cultivation is far beyond the Qi training stage. Even if he goes, he will be a food delivery. The reward is very good, but you have to live to get it. At this time, Yi Lin has made up his mind, that is, to slack off. Okay, since everyone knows, let's go down and prepare. At this time, the leader of the upper sect waved his hand, and the disciples with fighting spirit walked out of the hall one after another, and Yi Lin also followed. After arriving at the residence, Yi Lin took care of everything and walked towards the outer door. He was going to the dark abyss in the middle layer of the 10,000 miles mountain to seize Lin Zio's opportunity. With the Nirvana fruit, the process of phoenix hatching will be one step closer. Have you heard? Senior brother Li Shan fought a fierce battle with the evil demon yesterday, and was eventually killed by the evil demon. His blood was sucked dry and he became a dried corpse, which was extremely scary. Who said it wasn't? In just half a month, 18 outer sect senior brothers have died in the battle. It is said that the sect is furious about this incident and will send inner sect disciples. It is said that there is also a direct disciple accompanying them. Such a large lineup will definitely destroy all the demons. Listening to the whispers of the outer sect disciples, Yi Lin's heart was tense. Could it be that the evil demon matter has become so serious? This made him feel urgent. After leaving the sect, Yi Lin took out the hidden god bead, activated it and hid his figure, and then disappeared into the woods. The dark abyss is a strange place in the mountains of 100,000 miles. There is no spiritual energy here. No matter whether it is monsters or human cultivators, they are unwilling to come here. As the rumors say, there is no spiritual energy here, as if it was taken away out of thin air. Stepping into the dark abyss and looking at the surroundings, Lin said softly. The name of the dark abyss sounds nice, but it is just a deep valley. It is indeed the Nirvana fruit. At this time, Lin found a red spiritual fruit on the stone wall 10 meters below. Since the dark abyss is a deserted place where no one lives, the Nirvana fruit has not been picked. Lin slowly went down along the rock wall, came to the side of the Nirvana fruit, grabbed the Nirvana fruit and then came to the ground. Why does this place always give me a feeling of uneasiness? The deeper I go, the stronger this feeling becomes. Lin stood on the ground, looking at the bottomless valley below, and muttered. When I climbed down just now, the feeling in my heart became stronger, as if. No matter, now my strength is low, it is better not to be curious about this kind of thing. Lin shook his head and then hurried away. Arriving at the sect, the outer sect was extremely lively at this time. 20 inner sect disciples were ready to go, and the rest of the outer sect disciples were seeing them off. The sect ordered them to go down the mountain to eliminate demons tomorrow, but they couldn't wait. They were only in their 20s, and had never seen what evil demons looked like after practicing until now. Moreover, at this age, who doesn't have a dream of becoming a hero? More importantly, they were eager for the tempting reward. Follow me. Accompanied by the shouting of a person in front, 20 inner sect disciples walked down the Qingyan sect. Humph, evil demon. This time the inner sect is out, I wonder how long you can be arrogant. The inner sect disciples are all in the 9th level of Qi training, and there are also disciples in the foundation building period behind them. Such a luxurious lineup, but they are just evil demons, little trash. Watching the inner sect disciples walk out of the mountain gate, the outer sect disciples talked about it. Looking at these 20 poor guys, Lin thought it was a pity in his heart. These 20 guys had good fates, but without exception, they had no chance. Anyway, he won't live long, so where's the chance? I'm one of the people going down the mountain this time, and the sect will definitely investigate. In this case, it's better to follow them down the mountain together, and then find a chance to escape. Looking at the 20 figures in front of him, Lin thought secretly in his heart. The sect has registered the number of people in the hall. If he doesn't go, it will be difficult to explain when he is found. Afterwards, Lin followed behind these 20 figures. Brother Yi, where did you go just now? We went to your residence to look for you, but you were not there. We thought you had escaped from the battlefield. At this time, the leading inner sect disciple in front frowned and asked Lin. This time, the demon extermination is of great importance, and I have also prepared something. Hearing Lin's answer, Wang Li nodded. As an inner sect disciple, how can he not have some means? Then he stopped asking. It is a taboo to rashly ask others for their life-saving trump cards, even if they are brothers who are as close as brothers in life and death. Life is your own. Brothers, according to the news from the sect, the evil demons are in Wangjia village, Lijia village, and Zhaojia village. Let's move forward in 3 groups. When they came to the foot of the mountain, Wang Li turned and said to everyone. As for the evil demons that harmed the city, of course it was not their turn. They were just cleaning up the small fish that harmed the village. The leaders of Qingyan sect were not stupid. Of course, they would not let their backbones die in vain. Including Lin, 21 people, divided into 3 groups, each with 7 people, and went to 3 villages respectively. 3 minutes later, everyone lined up, and Lin's group's goal this time was Wangjia village. Lin was secretly happy about this. He was familiar with the terrain of Wangjia village, and he could just run away when the time came. On the way to Wangjia village, a big man in front turned his head and looked at Lin. When the fight starts, roll behind us. Remember, if you are killed, no one will save you. Don't become a burden to us. After the big man finished speaking, Lin nodded silently. There was no need to bother with a dying person. Humph, I really don't know why an 8th level Qi training person came to join in the fun. He must be here for the reward. If the outer disciples knew about it, let alone the 8th level Qi training, I think the 5th level Qi training people would come to join in the fun. After this person finished speaking, the other 5 people laughed. Looking at the few people who were laughing, Lin sneered in his heart, laugh, I'll see if you can still laugh in front of the king of hell later. When they arrived in Wangjia village, they smelled a strong smell of blood. When they stepped into the village, the scene in front of them stunned them directly. In the village, there were corpses everywhere. These corpses, without exception, were all mummies, just like bones wrapped in a layer of skin, which looked extremely scary. What happened here? Seeing this, some disciples began to retreat. When had they seen such a scene when they practiced in Qingyan sect all day? It was good enough that they didn't get scared. Spread out and search to see if there are any living people. If you encounter an evil demon, shout for help. At this time, the big man in front said, and the others nodded and dispersed in all directions. Seeing this, Yi Lin finally knew how these guys died. When encountering an unknown situation, the first reaction is not to gather together, but to disperse. Isn't this waiting for the evil demon to defeat one by one? Besides, shouting when encountering an evil demon. I'm afraid you won't even have a chance to shout at that time. When Yi Lin walked halfway, he used the hidden god pearl to hide his figure. As long as it was not a Jindan stage evil demon, he would not be able to find him at all. After searching for more than half an hour, everyone gathered together again and found nothing. Apart from corpses, there was no trace of the evil spirits at all, while Yi Lin was holding the hidden god pearl in his hand, standing on a roof and observing the surroundings. By the way, where are those two boys, Yi Lin and Wu Gang? At this time, the big man leading the front looked at the four people in front of him and said, I don't know if I wait. Help. At this time, when everyone was confused, a cry for help came from the distance. The sound was extremely loud. Immediately, the faces of the five people changed drastically and they ran towards the cry for help. And Yi Lin was jumping on the rooftops. In a courtyard, they saw that Wu Gang, whom they were talking about, had been separated from his body, his head was hanging in the air, and drops of blood were dripping on the ground. Tick, tick, tick. The sound of blood dripping, coupled with Wu Gang's corpse all around, caused an inexplicable sense of panic to everyone. Who did this? The big man leading the front was full of anger. They were here to slay demons. Unexpectedly, before the demon could be seen, an inner disciple had already died. Senior Brother Long, I think we should go back. This place is too weird, so it's better to leave quickly. At this time, one disciple's psychological defense could no longer hold up any longer, he said weakly. Fart, we monks are responsible for slaying demons. Now that we are leaving, don't you feel guilty? Listening to Long Aotian's questioning, the disciple who had spoken before suddenly felt guilty. Is this the devil? At this time, Yi Lin, who was standing on the roof, looked at the corner outside the yard and his pupils shrank. I saw a man with black and purple textures all over his body, a pair of black horns on his head, and fang-like things all over his arms and legs. There is a black and purple crystal shining brightly on the chest, and a big mouth is full of fangs. Because Yi Lin had the hidden god bead, the evil demon did not discover him. Let me see if you have a panel. Yi Lin murmured to himself, his eyes slightly focused, and suddenly, a transparent panel appeared in front of him, which made him feel happy. Name, Mo Yi. Race, Demon. Cultivation level, middle stage of foundation building. Fate, Blue. Numerology, Ancient Demon Blood. Destiny, after devouring tens of thousands of people, he successfully broke through the golden elixir stage and became a terrifying demon that caused trouble for thousands of miles around. In the end, he was seriously injured and killed by two supreme elders of Qingyan sect and Tianjian sect. Recent opportunity. After devouring 20 inner sect disciples, he knew that staying would only make Qingyan sect angry, but he was unwilling to do so, so he immediately fled to Beiduan Mountain 100 miles away, and found a man at the foot of Beiduan Mountain. At the Lingquan, I found the Ice Soul Needle, a high-grade Zon-level treasure, under the Lingquan. Ancient Demon Blood. You are a descendant of the ancient demon, and the blood of the ancient demon flows in your body. You are invincible in the same realm. Looking at the demonic panel in front of him, Yi Lin scratched his chin. Beiduan Mountain, could it be that this evil demon knocked Lin Zisheng off the cliff at Beiduan Mountain? But according to Lin Zisheng's panel, it was a month later. Now that it's clear, I want all Lin Zisheng's opportunities. At this time, Yi Lin had an evil smile on his face. The reason he didn't dare to go to Beiduan Mountain at that time was because he was afraid of encountering evil spirits. But now that the culprit has been found, he no longer has to worry. At this time, the demon in the corner moved and turned into a purple-black light and rushed into the courtyard. Who? At this time, Long Aoshan roared loudly, and just as he was about to turn his head, the next moment, the bodies were separated. The remaining 4 people were also unable to fight back and were instantly killed by the demon in front of them. That's right, the 5 of them didn't last more than 10 seconds in front of this demon before they were instantly killed by the demon. After killing 5 people, the demon began to suck the blood from the 5 people. In an instant, the 5 people suddenly turned into 5 mummies. It's so delicious. Sure enough, human blood is still as delicious as ever. At this time, Mo Yi showed an intoxicated look on his face. Sir, the matters outside have been arranged. Please give me your instructions. At this time, another person ran outside the door. This person was wearing a black cloak and his face could not be seen clearly. Very good, you did a good job. When I finish my work, I will grant you eternal life. Mo Yi looked at the person in front of him, his face full of approval, but actually he was sneering in his heart. The little human race will do whatever it takes to live forever. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. After hearing what Mo Yi said, the man shed tears of gratitude, knelt in front of Mo Yi and kowtowed. This scene was caught by Yi Lin on the roof. After that, Yi Lin didn't delay any further and turned around and walked towards Qingyan sect. No, everyone who went there this time is dead. If I go up like this, it will definitely arouse the sect's suspicion. Halfway through, Yi Lin suddenly stopped, gritted his teeth, raised his palm and hit himself in the chest. Suddenly, Yi Lin spit out a mouthful of blood on the ground. After messing up his clothes and hair, Yi Lin ran towards Qingyan sect. Isn't this Senior Brother Yi? Senior Brother Yi, what's wrong with you? Arriving at Qingyan sect, Yi Lin clutched his chest, with blood on the corner of his mouth, and looked extremely weak. Seeing Yi Lin, the outer disciples stepped forward and expressed concern. Hurry, take me to see the sect master quickly, something big has happened. Yi Lin was out of breath and said in a weak tone. Coupled with the blood at the corner of his mouth, the outer disciples felt that Yi Lin was about to burp in the next moment. Along the way, Yi Lin was carried to the inner gate hall by an outer sect disciple. The sect master who was in the hall saw this scene and frowned. I remember you were one of the people who went down the mountain to eliminate demons. What happened? What happened? Where are the others? Seeing Yi Lin, the sect master came forward and asked 3 questions in a row, not caring about Yi Lin's injuries at all. Report to the sect master. That evil demon is a foundation building stage evil demon. We are no match for it. At the critical moment, all the brothers fought desperately with the evil demon, and only I escaped to report to the sect. Foundation building stage. Hearing this, the sect master frowned. Okay, I already know, this is a yellow grade middle grade rejuvenation pill, which will be of great help to your injuries. Go down to recuperate. At this time, the sect master took out a pill from his arms and handed it to Yi Lin, and then walked out of the hall with a solemn face. Thank you, sect master. Yi Lin took the pill and bowed to the sect master's back. After the sect master disappeared, Yi Lin stood up and limped towards his residence. After arriving at his residence and closing the door, Yi Lin swallowed the rejuvenation pill and began to heal his injuries. Just now, in order to act realistically, he used 6 points of strength in that palm, and almost got internal injuries. 3 hours later, Yi Lin took a deep breath. Although it was only a middle grade yellow grade, the effect of the medicine was still very good. His injuries have recovered almost completely. Now I can take Lin Zisheng's opportunity. I will go to Baidwan Mountain first, get 2 opportunities, and then go to Golden City. It's just right. The 3 opportunities will not delay each other. After thinking for a while, Yi Lin came to the yard and dug out the phoenix egg. At this time, the signs of life in the phoenix egg became more and more obvious. I wonder if the Nirvana fruit is useful. Yi Lin muttered, then took out the Nirvana fruit and placed it on the phoenix egg. Putting the Nirvana fruit on the phoenix egg, the next moment, something magical happened. The Nirvana fruit in Yi Lin's hand was slowly disappearing, and a fiery red light poured into the phoenix egg. The life breath in the phoenix egg became stronger and stronger. Seeing this, Yi Lin activated the phoenix fire in his body and began to increase its output. Just a few minutes later, Yi Lin was lying on the ground with a decadent look on his face. He was gone. There was really not a drop left. All the spiritual energy in his body was drained by the phoenix egg in front of him. Little guy, you are really edible. I spent a lot of energy and resources to hatch you. I hope you won't disappoint me. Yi Lin lay on the ground and said helplessly. The life breath in the phoenix egg is already very strong at this time, but there is still some way to go before hatching. At this time, the phoenix egg shook a few times, as if responding to Yi Lin. Okay, little one, you can sleep peacefully here and wait until the shuafeng fruit is obtained. Then I will continue to feed you. Yi Lin touched the phoenix egg, and then buried the phoenix egg in the ground. No matter what, the phoenix egg must not be discovered by anyone. Once discovered, not only will the egg be gone, but he will also die. You know, in ancient times, mythical beasts were the overlords of heaven and earth. After the ancient war, the mythical beasts fell one after another. In other words, the only descendant of the divine beast today is the phoenix egg in front of him. The ability of a divine beast to become the overlord of the world in ancient times when all kinds of ruthless people emerged in endlessly is naturally self-evident. As for the descendants of divine beasts, with such value, even the old monsters in the Mahayana stage would not hesitate to snatch them away. No, I have to wait for 3 days. Now I have to leave just after entering the sect. I'm afraid it will arouse some people's suspicion. Yi Lin thought in his mind, then turned and walked towards the house. In the eyes of others, he had just escaped from the hands of a demon and walked away from the gate of hell. Leaving the sect before he could regain his footing would definitely attract the attention of interested people. It would be better to stay in the sect peacefully for 3 days, and there is no rush to leave until this matter is over. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed quietly. On this day, Yi Lin opened his eyes. The foundation of the 9th level of Qi training is already very solid, but there is still no hope of breaking through the foundation building stage. Yi Lin shook his head and whispered in a low voice. But let's see what my fate is. Cultivation level. 9th level of Qi training. Fate. Black bad luck. Numerology. Bad luck, insight and understanding. Destiny. A month later, Lin Zisheng used the hands of the inner sect elders to expel the sword intent from his body, and his murderous intention for you became more serious. Then when you were going out a month later, he launched a sneak attack on you, and you used all your cards to escape with serious injuries. Past. Recent opportunities. None. Additional bad luck. Bad luck, such as falling when walking, being cheated on getting married. Intelligence and enlightenment. The understanding is transcendent, and it is extremely fast to comprehend various exercises. For the same exercise, it takes others 3 months, but you only need a few days. Looking at his own panel, Yi Lin thought in his mind, it seems that the last sword talisman caused a lot of harm to Lin Zisheng. A month from now, you want to kill me right after you get out of seclusion. It seems that you have a lot of resentment towards me. Yi Lin murmured to himself, with a smile on his face. Now that he already knows his future destiny, it's easy to handle. Lin Zisheng is his current money-giving boy. No matter, let's get the shuafeng fruit first, and then go to the Golden City. At this time, Yi Lin made up his mind and walked towards the outside of the sect. Baidwan Mountain is 100 miles away from the Qingyan sect and is not among the hundreds of thousands of miles of mountains. In just 3 hours, Yi Lin had arrived at Baidwan Mountain. Looking at the huge mountain peak in front of him, Yi Lin raised his feet and walked up. Lingquan was at the foot of Baidwan Mountain, and Yi Lin walked around the foot of the mountain, looking for traces of Lingquan. At this time, Yi Lin found a middle-aged man walking up the mountain with a basket on his back and an axe in his hand. Yi Lin hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. Hello, do you know where there is a spring at the foot of the mountain? Yi Lin asked the person in front of him. Spring water. Young man, walk along this road for 1,000 meters and you will arrive. However, I have to remind you that there are monsters entrenched in the spring water. You'd better be careful. Hearing this, Yi Lin nodded and cupped his fists towards the person in front of him. Thanks for letting me know. After saying that, he walked forward in the direction pointed by this person. After walking about a kilometer, Yi Lin finally found a spring. On the left was a high cliff, with streams of water pouring into the spring in front of him. It can be called pure natural mountain spring water. The panel shows the bottom of the spring. The bottom of the spring looks like only 3 or 4 meters. Standing on the ground, Yilin looked along the water surface. The spring water was crystal clear and it was easy to judge the approximate depth. Afterwards, Yilin plunged into the water and swam along the bottom of the spring. When he arrived at the bottom of the spring, Yilin found half of the wooden box leaking out of the soil. Yilin grabbed the wooden box and pulled it out easily. Just when Yilin wanted to swim upward, his right leg was suddenly entangled with something. Yilin looked towards his right leg and saw a python several meters long wrapping around his body along the right leg. Seeing this, Yilin speeded up and swam toward the water. Ha! A third-level chi training monster. How dare you! After swimming to the surface, Yilin looked along his right leg and saw that the whole leg was directly entangled by the python. If he were immortal, let alone swimming to the surface, he would have been entangled and died. Then Yilin took out the long sword from the space ring and stabbed the python's head under the water. Instantly, the python's body was separated. After a few more slashes, the whole python was cut into several pieces by Yilin and slowly sank to the bottom of the spring. Putting away the long sword, Yilin came to the ground, sat on the ground and opened the wooden box in his hand. In the wooden box, there were 3 silver white needles, and there was a trace of cold air on these 3 needles. Even though Yilin was at the 9th level of chi training, he couldn't help shivering. It was really that the cold air on the silver needles was too strong. After this needle, let alone the chi training stage, even if the foundation building stage is hit, it will immediately lose its combat effectiveness. Yilin took a deep breath, then closed the wooden box and put it into the space ring. These 3 ice soul needles are his trump card now, and he is more confident about the assassination of Lin Zisheng in a month. Then Yilin stood up and looked at the mountain hundreds of meters high in the distance. Ha! This Baidwan mountain is hundreds of meters high. Is it under the cliff? Looking at the high mountain in front of him, Yilin walked towards the highest point. He was quiet along the way and did not find any monsters. Easily reached the highest point, Yilin came to the edge and looked down. In front of him was a cliff that was almost 90 degrees vertical, and there was nothing to climb on the mountain wall. Now I am at the 9th level of chi training. Even if I jump from here, I will be seriously injured at most. Yilin pondered for a while, and then climbed down along the mountain wall. As for jumping directly, although it was easy, he was not a masochist. I still have to break through the foundation building stage as soon as possible. I can't fly. It's too troublesome. Yilin, who had worked hard to climb down the mountain, complained, looking at his red hands, and was speechless. Around the bottom of the mountain, there was a dense jungle. There is a light over there. Go and have a look. At this time, Yilin noticed that there was a flash of light in the bushes in front of the jungle, which attracted his attention. Then he raised his foot and walked forward. When he came here, Yilin squatted down slightly and pushed aside the grass, only to see a shining crystal lying in it. In the soil next to the crystal, there was a yellowish-brown fruit. Could this be the Shuafeng fruit? At this time, Yilin took the fruit out of the soil, put it into the space ring, and turned to look at the shining crystal. It turned out to be a medium-grade spirit stone. Did the rich spiritual energy in the spirit stone breed this Shuafeng fruit? At this time, Yilin picked up the crystal, carefully sensed the spiritual energy in it, and then threw it away with a look of disgust. This is indeed a medium-grade spirit stone, but there is little spiritual energy left in it, so it is useless to keep it. Now I have got the Shuafeng fruit and the Bingpo needle, and the last and strongest opportunity, Yichihua Sanqing. At this time, Yilin slowly stood up and looked into the distance. The Golden City was located thousands of miles away from the Qingyan sect. It was very far away. Yilin didn't know why Lin Zisheng ran to the Golden City thousands of miles away. But now everything is unimportant, this opportunity is his. Golden City, here I come. One day later, Yilin looked at the huge city gate in front of him and sighed. Golden City is a heavy city, which is not comparable to that kind of small city. And in the heavy city, there are also places where immortal cultivators are entrenched. Yilin walked into the city, and the guards at the city gate didn't even look at Yilin, and walked into the city easily. Where is the antique market? Looking at the bustling figures around, Yilin fell into deep thought. Hey, is this brother going to the antique market? At this time, a man appeared next to Yi Lin, with an extremely wretched appearance, a mustache, and a height of no more than 1.6 meters. Yes, I have heard that the Golden City antique market is famous, so I came to see it. Yi Lin nodded and said, Brother, my name is Wang Laoliu. You can call me Lao Wang or Laoliu. As for the antique market, you have found the right person. There is nothing in this Golden City that I, Wang Laoliu, don't know. At this time, Wang Laoliu suddenly slapped his thigh and boasted to Yi Lin. Then I would like to trouble you to take me to this antique market, how about it? After Yi Lin finished speaking, Wang Laoliu secretly stretched out his hand, rubbed his index finger and thumb lightly, and smiled slyly. Seeing this, Yi Lin understood. Take me first, and then you will get the benefits. After Yi Lin finished speaking, Wang Laoliu circled around Yi Lin. No problem, brother, follow me. After speaking, Wang Laoliu walked in front, and Yi Lin followed closely. After twists and turns along the way, everyone came to a market. There was a gold inlaid plaque on the front gate, and 3 big characters were written on the plaque, Antique City. Brother, this is it. Do you need me to take you in? Do you know where the Yuanbaojai in this antique city is? After Yi Lin finished speaking, Wang Laoliu looked at Yi Lin with a strange expression. Why are you going to Yuanbaojai? Yuanbaojai is a well-known scam. None of the 10 antiques are real. It's okay, I just want to go in and take a look. I have heard of the name of Yuanbaojai many times on the way here, so I have always been curious. Hearing this, Wang Laoliu nodded. That's right, although Yuanbaojai is a scam, it is famous. In this case, I will take you into Yuanbaojai. After speaking, Wang Laoliu took Yi Lin to the antique city. On the side of the road, there are all kinds of stalls. The servants who set up the stalls are smiling and soliciting customers. They are bragging more outrageously than one another. Come and have a look, dear guests. These things of mine were all found in ancient ruins. The leader of Qingyan sect said they were good. Take a look at mine. These were found in a secret place. I almost died there. These things are treasures of immortal cultivators. You can't lose money by buying them. You can't be fooled by buying them. At this time, a young man came to the stall and asked the servant in front of him. Brother, if this is fake, will you compensate me? Hearing this, the servant was stunned, and then said earnestly. Young man, everything in this world involves cause and effect. You bought my things, you got something, and before I got it, the cause and effect here has been resolved, which means that there is no connection anymore. Don't talk about whether to compensate or not, that's a small matter. How about taking a look? Hearing this, the young man disappeared in a flash. This is Yuanbaojai. At this time, Yi Lin heard the words, looked at the extremely imposing ancient building in front of him, nodded silently, and it looked pretty good. Thank you for showing me the way. At this time, Yi Lin threw a silver ingot to Wang Laoliu, who took it with a smile on his face. Thank you for the reward, but little brother, I have to remind you that this Yuanbaojai is famous for cheating people, so you have to be careful. After saying that, Wang Laoliu patted his butt and walked out of the antique city, and Yi Lin took a look and walked in. Inside, there was a huge space, and what caught the eye were small tables with various antiques on them. Although they looked like antiques, it was unknown whether they were real or fake. Sir, are you from outside the city? At this time, a middle-aged man with a big belly looked at Yi Lin with shining eyes. Who doesn't know the reputation of his Yuanbaojai in Wangjin City? Those who can walk into his Yuanbaojai are all newbies from outside the city without exception. I did come from outside the city. I heard that your Yuanbaojai has many treasures, so I came to see it. Yi Lin nodded, then walked to a vase, looked at it, and asked the boss. How much is this? Hearing this, Wang Guofu was full of disgust. Selling, too vulgar, my Yuanbaojai is all about fate. After saying this, Yi Lin understood. This thing is destined for me. 5 taels. Hearing this, Yi Lin was slightly speechless. Then he pretended to wander around, but in fact, he was looking for the old flower pot. At this time, 2 people walked in from outside the door. One of them had a long sword on his back and was dressed in white, like a handsome young man. The other was a woman with a charming appearance and looked very cute. Oh, these 2 guests, are they from outside the city? Seeing this, Wang Guofu muttered in his heart, why is the business so good today? Then he gave a warm welcome on the surface. Well, it's from the Tianjian sect, junior sister, take a look, tell senior brother what you see, we still have to go to investigate the evil demons after we buy. After the man finished speaking, Yilin's mind moved, someone from the Tianjian sect. To investigate the evil demons. So it's a big shot from the Tianjian sect, this girl, you can choose whatever you want, I'll give you a 20% discount. Hearing this, Wang Guofu was slightly shocked. The Tianjian sect is the second largest sect in the area of 10,000 miles after the Qingyan sect, and he can't afford to offend the disciples there. It seems that this time he has to make a loss-making business, and then he looked at Yilin who was wandering around in the distance, and his heart was relieved. Fortunately, there is still a young man, and I must double the loss from this guy later. My friend, my name is Tang Shui, a disciple of the Tianjian sect. Are you here to shop here too? At this time, the girl named Tang Shui came to Yilin and asked with a smile. No, I just came in to take a look. Okay, I wonder what your name is. Looking at the man in front of her, Tang Shui asked politely. She always felt that the man in front of her was not as simple as he seemed on the surface. My name is Wang Fugi, just an ordinary mortal. At this time, Yilin touched his nose and said, Is that so? All right then. Hearing this, Tang Shui nodded, then walked aside and began to pick out the gadgets she liked. At this time, Yilin glanced at Tang Shui, and then a transparent panel appeared in front of him. Name, Tang Shui. Cultivation, Qi training level 7. Fate, green. Numerology, good luck, super accurate intuition. Fate, after walking out of the Golden City, he was discovered by the evil cultivator halfway, and then was cruelly bullied to death by the evil cultivator. Recent opportunity, found a beautiful little jade box in the southeast corner of Yuanbaojai. After buying it, walked outside the city to open it, and immediately found a Zon level lower grade blood blasting pill. After swallowing it, it can burst out 3 times its own strength, but the body will be extremely weak for a month afterwards. Good luck. You are a girl born with good fortune, and the people around you will also be affected by your good fortune. Super accurate intuition. Your intuition is extremely sharp, and you can often find the truth of certain things. Looking at Tang Shui's back, Yilin shook his head. This matter has nothing to do with him. However, this blood-blasting pill is a good thing, a life-saving treasure. It has 3 times the power of itself. Yilin estimated that once he swallowed it, he could fight against the initial stage of foundation building. Then Yilin walked towards the southeast corner and suddenly found a small jade box on the edge of a table. Yilin slowly picked up the box. How much is this? Oh, guest, you asked the right person. This was taken out of the ancient ruins. It has not been opened yet. No one knows what treasures are inside. This, you can take it home for only 100 taels of silver. Listening to the boss's exaggeration, Yilin was speechless for a while. A layer of dust appeared on the surface of the small jade box in his hand. At a glance, it was just placed here casually. At this time, Yilin found a shabby vase at the back of the table, and then pulled the table open and took the vase in his hand. Looking at the vase in front of him, Yilin was delighted. Yes, it was him. The surfaces of various vases in Yuanbaojai were extremely exquisite, and only the vase in front of him was extremely consistent with the description on the panel. Boss, I want both of these. How much do you want to sell them? At this time, Yilin looked at Wang Guofu in front of him. A total of 100 taels, I'll give you that vase as a gift. Wang Guofu looked at the shabby vase in Yilin's hand and couldn't help saying. Such a shabby vase is not worth much at first glance. Instead of throwing it away, it's better to give it away. 50 taels, will you sell it? If you don't sell it, I'll leave. Yilin looked at Wang Guofu and sneered in his heart. He didn't cheat people like this. Junior sister, it's time to go. We have to go back to the sect to report. At this time, the man standing outside the door said. The man has been silent since he came in, and he has a heroic demeanor. This made Yilin very curious. Could this be a disciple of Tianjian sect? Name, Cao Zi. Cultivation, Qi training level 7. Fate, white ordinary. Numerology, none. Destiny, after leaving the city, on the way back to Tianjian sect, he was brutally killed by an evil cultivator. Recent opportunities, none. Seeing this, Yi Lin was speechless. It turned out that he was just a rookie. Why was he pretending to be a hero? Well, I also saw that you have a connection with these two things, so I'll give you a personal favor. 50 taels is 50 taels. At this time, Wang Guofu said, looking extremely heartbroken. Yi Lin put his hand into his arms, and the next moment, he was stunned. He had no money again. All the money just now was given to Wang Laoliu. He didn't have any silver on him, and as for the spirit stones, he had none, which made him a little speechless. What? No money? At this time, Wang Fugi looked at Yi Lin with a strange face. Why did he come to Yuanbaojai without money? What are you doing? Boss, we don't sell on credit. Before Yi Lin finished speaking, Wang Fugi refused. When he was about to snatch the treasure from Yi Lin, a silver ingot appeared in front of Wang Fugi. I paid for his things. Yi Lin looked and saw that Tang Shui had stood in front of him without knowing when. Remember to bring money when you go out, otherwise you won't meet me next time. Tang Shui smiled sweetly at Yi Lin, and then followed Cao Zi outside. You kid, you don't have money, why are you pretending to be a big shot? Go away. At this time, Wang Fugi put away the silver and looked at Yi Lin with contempt. Yi Lin put the two treasures into the space ring and followed Tang Shui. I took your opportunity and you paid for me. In this case, I will save your life and we will be even. After Yi Lin left, Wang Guofu opened his mouth and looked at Yi Lin's back. Space ring. Wang Fugi was shocked, and then his anus tightened. He immediately closed the door and leaned against it, trembling. I actually despised a cultivator with a space ring. I shouldn't live long, I shouldn't live long. The matter was settled. Outside the city, Tang Shui jumped and followed Cao Zi. Junior sister, why did you pay for that young man just now? No reason, because I was happy, because I liked him. Looking at Tang Shui in front of him, Cao Zi was speechless. His junior sister was born with a cheerful personality and was carefree. She was the happy fruit in the eyes of the outer disciples of the Tianjian sect. After the two walked 1,000 meters, Cao Zi frowned. Junior sister, stop. At this time, Cao Zi frowned and shouted at Tang Shui who was jumping in front of him. What's wrong, senior brother? Tang Shui turned her head with a puzzled look on her face. Something is wrong. Cao Zi looked at the wilderness around him, and then slowly drew out the long sword behind him. He, what a beautiful person, I have never seen such a beauty in my life. At this time, 3 men in black walked out of the wilderness on the side. The 3 men stared at Tang Shui with silver smiles on their faces. Senior brother. At this time, Tang Shui couldn't help but feel a little nervous, and came behind Cao Zi step by step. Everyone, my junior sister and I have no hatred with you, right? Cao Zi looked at the 3 people in front of him and said while retreating. You don't need to know, just kill him. At this moment, one of the black-robed men went berserk, his right hand in a claw shape, and he clawed towards Cao Zi. 8th level of Qi training. Looking at the black-robed man in front of him, Cao Zi lost his voice, and then took out a pill from his arms without hesitation and swallowed it. Junior sister, I'm sorry. Cao Zi grabbed Tang Shui's shoulders and threw her behind him, and the whole person ran forward at a very fast speed, disappearing in an instant. He, a guy without backbone, as expected, none of these upright sects have backbone. Just now, a black-robed man grabbed Tang Shui's shoulders and looked at Cao Zi who was leaving, with a face full of disdain. How could this happen? Tang Shui's face was full of disbelief. He didn't believe that the senior brother who was usually very good to her would abandon her and run away. Little girl, now that your senior brother has escaped, let the brothers accompany you to have fun. He. Looking at these 3 ugly faces in front of her, Tang Shui was already desperate. She had been practicing in the sect all day long and was favored by the outer disciples of Tianjian sect. When had she ever seen this scene? At the critical moment, the senior brother who cared about him the most on weekdays abandoned him and ran away without hesitation, which made him despair inside. Jia, little girl, just obey me. After the man in black robe finished speaking, that dirty hand started to grab a certain part of Tang Shui. Let me go, let me go. At this time, Tang Shui was full of energy from the 7th level of Qi training, but the next moment, her shoulder was grabbed by another man in black robe. The momentum that had just risen was suppressed by the man in black robe. You're at the 7th level of Qi training, and you still want to resist. It's simple. The man in black robe sneered. 7 killing fists, kill. At this time, the man in black robe holding Tang Shui's arm looked at the fist on his chest. How? How is it possible? The man in black robe turned his head, then closed his eyes and lay on the ground. Yi Lin's punch directly penetrated the black-robed man's chest. Who? At this time, the other 2 men in black robes turned their heads. Who are you? We have nothing to do with each other, right? The 2 men in black robes looked at the unfamiliar faces in front of them and backed away slowly. 7 killing fists. Facing the 2 people in front of him, Yi Lin didn't talk nonsense at all. Saving Tang Shui was on the one hand, but the 2 were evil cultivators on the other. In the hearts of all the monks in this world, there is zero tolerance for evil cultivators. They will kill them when they see them, because evil cultivators are no longer human beings, they are traitors to the human race. In order to live forever, he was willing to be the demon's lackey, and in turn, he killed his own people at all costs, and was despised by the monks. Do it. After saying that, the 2 men in black robes rushed towards Yi Lin, their bodies surging with spiritual energy and imposing momentum. But the next moment, the 2 of them looked at the bloody hole on their chests with disbelief. Practice. The 9th level of Qi training. As one of them made a desperate cry, the 2 of them lay straight on the ground. I am now invincible during the Qi training period. 3 Qi training level 8s can't even catch me in person. Looking at the bodies of the 3 people, Yi Lin thought to himself, then waved his hands, squatted in front of one person, and wiped the blood off his hands. Is it you? Aren't you an ordinary person? At this time, Tang Shui looked at Yi Lin with wide eyes. She couldn't believe that this person who had claimed to be immortal just a moment ago had killed 3 top masters at the 8th level of Qi training in an instant. I just came to thank you for helping me pay the bill. At this time, Yi Lin looked up and saw a transparent panel appeared, then stood up and walked away. Name: Tang Shui. Cultivation: 7th level of Qi training. Fortune: green. Numerology: good luck, super accurate intuition. Destiny: after this incident, I walked safely to the Tianjian sect, and finally practiced for a lifetime, entering the late stage of foundation building, and died in depression because my lifespan was exhausted. Recent opportunity: I found a yellow level middle grade long sword in the Holy Sword Peak of Tianjian sect. Since then, my combat power has greatly increased. Continuous good luck. You are a girl born with blessings, and those around you will also be affected by your good fortune. Super accurate intuition. Your intuition is extremely sharp and you can often discover the truth of certain things. Looking at Tang Shui's opportunity, Yi Lin shook his head. Not to mention that he already looked down on the middle grade Huang level long sword. Furthermore, the Tianjian sect was not something he could enter. Hey, what's your name? At this time, Tang Shui shouted towards Yi Lin's back. Qingyan sect, Yi Lin. At this time, Yi Lin replied casually, and then accelerated towards Qingyan sect. He couldn't wait to study the Qi transformation Sanqing. Qingyan sect, Yi Lin. Tang Shui looked at Yi Lin's disappearing back and murmured. After a day of traveling, Yi Lin successfully arrived at his residence, opened a door on the left, and looked around. Phew, no one has come in. Looking at a small stone by the door, Yi Lin murmured that he had left it by the door intentionally. As long as someone opened the door on the right, he would push the small stone and dislocate the stone. Then Yi Lin came to the yard and dug out the phoenix eggs from the ground. After not seeing each other for 2 days, the aura of life in the phoenix egg became stronger and stronger. Yi Lin took out the shuafeng fruit and placed it on the phoenix egg. Suddenly, the shuafeng fruit turned into rays of light and merged into the phoenix egg. Phoenix egg rubbed Yi Lin excitedly. The breath of life is getting stronger, but there is still a long way to go before hatching. Looking at the phoenix egg in front of him, Yi Lin murmured, and then buried the phoenix egg into the ground. I have no choice but to do this now, I can only aggrave this little phoenix first. When he came to the house, Yi Lin took out the old vase from the space ring and smashed it decisively. Unexpectedly, he found a diamond-shaped crystal at the bottom of the vase. The next moment, the crystal turned into a stream of light and rushed into Yi Lin's mind. Holy shit! Before Yi Lin could react, he closed his eyes and passed out on the bed. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed by. On this day, Lin opened his eyes and looked around blankly. He had a dream, a very long dream. One Qi transforms the 3 pure beings, one Qi transforms the 3 pure states. At this time, Lin sat on the bed and murmured, his eyes full of excitement. From the dream, he understood the awesomeness of the martial art of transforming 3 pure things into one spirit. One Qi transformation and 3 purities are divided into 3 levels. The first level can be practiced to create an external incarnation, the second level can be practiced to create the second external incarnation, and the third level can be practiced to create the third external incarnation. Moreover, each external incarnation possesses the 8th level of strength of the main body. In other words, after practicing to a great extent, you can have 3 external incarnations with the 8th level of strength. However, there is a fatal flaw. Once the external incarnation is shattered, it can never be repaired. It is unique. Even if you reach the 3rd level of perfection and the first external incarnation is shattered, then there will only be 2 incarnations after that. But even so, this martial art can be described as extremely abnormal. With my current level of cultivation, I can't practice this martial skill at all. I have to reach the golden elixir stage. It's a pity. At this time, Lin murmured that during the Qi training period, he was not even qualified to practice this martial skill. But once I master these martial arts skills, I will have no rival within the same realm. Lin is not discouraged. Anyway, he has already obtained the martial arts skills and can practice them morning and night, and he doesn't care about this moment. It just so happens that the demonic shadow I found in the secret realm last time hasn't been practiced yet, so I'll study it first. At this time, Lin took out the magic shadow from the space ring and started to look through it bit by bit. The numerology of transcendent understanding is really abnormal. After just reading it once, Lin already understood it and memorized it by heart. The demonic shadow has 3 levels in total. The first level can exert 5 times its own speed, the second level can exert its own 8 times the speed, and the third level can exert its own 10 times the speed. It is simply a life-saving magic skill. Quote, and once you have mastered it, you can interfere with the enemy's soul. In the eyes of the enemy, you are just a shadow without a trace. Lin murmured to himself. It is more appropriate to say that it is an illusion, and it is more appropriate to use the metaphor of movement. In the future, even if you encounter an enemy that you cannot defeat, you can escape. Start practicing. After thinking about it, Lin closed his eyes and began to practice without a trace. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.